and welcome back here to the final session for the evening. This is the AIBA World Boxing Championships here in Baku, Azerbaijan, after a full day of action where we watched many exciting bouts in numerous weight classes from the morning through the afternoon, and now here we are in the evening, the men's lightweight contest. Valentino, Domenico, Stankovic, Branimir. Let's take a look at their resumes. Referee is Rashvan Husanov. And we're going to get a look at the judges in just a second here for this lightweight contest. And as we mentioned, Domenico Valentino, 2005 World Senior Champ at the Mianjing, China AIBA Championships. In 07 in Chicago, he took second place. And in 09, he took first place in Milan with a win over Jose Pedraza. He's also a World Series of Boxing participant. And this year, he took first at the European Championships in Ankara. Branimir Stankovic from Serbia. He was a Golden Gloves gold medalist in 2008. At 2009 in the World Championships in Milan, he took 5th place and 2nd place this year at the Slovakian Grand Prix. And both of these boxers are off to action here in the first bout of the evening. Again, we've got Valentino out of the red corner from Italy, Stankovic out of the blue corner from Serbia. And we see Valentino starting off early with a long jab. He's got a nice long reach, does Valentino, and if he uses it properly, he should be able to work his way behind that throughout the entirety of the bout. Stankovic looks really fast. He looks like he's got sharp reflexes already here in the first round as Valentino pushes Stankovic back a bit. Valentino looks like he has steady feet under him and he could advance and retreat very quickly, which is always a great asset to have for a boxer. So as we see Valentino chop a left to the body of Stankovic. Stankovic's got a nice high guard. He comes on strong. Valentino continues to push that jab out. Stankovic continues to push the action. And there Valentino makes a quick move to the left, bumping out that left hand just a little bit. Good defense as noted by Stankovic. Hasn't really gotten off yet, hasn't started letting his hands go. There's another left hand by Stankovic, which sort of misses its mark. We're halfway through the first round here. Stankovic and Valentino, this should be a good one. There's a lot of great matchups actually this evening. We've got 16 bouts. That'll be 8 in the men's lightweight 60 kilograms and 8 in the super heavies. The big boys will be coming up in the second half of the show. So right now what we see is Stankovic continuing to press the action as Valentino looking comfortable playing the counterpuncher. Working his way around. A sharp right hand by the Serbian boxer falls short of its mark. Swinging right hand by the Serbian there, but to no avail. He only got wind on that, and Valentino ties him up in the center of the ring. Now the crowd's starting to chant out there. There are a lot of people in the stands here, at least more than one would expect at this hour. We've been here in the Haydar Alley of Sports Complex the entire day, coming up on our 12th hour of boxing almost. It will be about 10 hours of boxing, to be more precise, before the night is through. And that's the end of round number 1 as Stankovic jogs back to his corner while Valentino walks back. Both are going to get some advice in their corner. Take a look at the replay here. Valentino throwing long right hands. while Stankovic continues to push the action forward. And look at that, after one round, the Italian has a 7-3 lead. That's a pretty impressive showing for round number one. As we've seen here throughout this contest, those that take a lead in the first round, it's all the more important because of one's ability to pretty much skate into the sunset by avoiding harm's way through rounds 2 and 3 once they have a nice comfortable lead. So it is a strategy, favored by some, perhaps disfavored by others. Yours truly has no opinion on the matter other than to say that it is an effective way to hold on to a lead once you've got one after round one. Let's see what Valentino chooses to do here. Is he going to stand toe-to-toe and fight Stankovic, give Stankovic a chance to get those points back, or play it safely and try and avoid harm's way? The referee is going to send Stankovic to his corner to get his shoe tied, and Valentino, while in the neutral corner, awaits, and now it proceeds with the action here in round number 2. Valentino with a left and a right to the belly. Stankovic continuing to press the action though. Valentino playing the counter-puncher role. Now Valentino's back against the ropes. Stankovic, some fast action. These guys got lightning fast hands, and they're showing it here in round number 2. And now Stankovic leads with his head, pushes back the neck of Valentino. Sharp left hand by Valentino now. Fighting with his back against the ropes, a la Muhammad Ali. The old rope-a-dope, standing in there, in the pocket, trading punches. Stankovic continuing to press forward. He's the man down on points. He's the man that needs to press the action. Valentino doesn't have to. He could wait and let Stankovic bring it to him. Stankovic needs to get inside. He needs to somehow use his angles, use his feet, and bob and weave and start to land shots to the body. It would be well served. Score up some rack up some valuable points by scoring punches to the body. Left hand by Stankovic, right hand, now Stankovic doing his work in the corner. A nice overhand right by Stankovic, however, Valentino is able to duck it, and now the action resumes here in the center of the ring. Left hand by Valentino, a left-right combination followed by a left by Valentino, and there's a left by Stankovic, so action really starting to heat up here with a minute to go in round number 2. And the referee going to caution Valentino about the use of his head, says he can't do that. Boxing resumes, a big left-right combination by Stankovic. And now Stankovic chasing his man around the ring. Valentino throwing lefts and rights. Valentino again, and now Stankovic pushing forward. Valentino avoiding harm's way, doing a good job circling, using lateral movement to evade harm. Now Valentino, his head being pushed down by the right elbow of Stankovic, is going to break free, and referee's going to let them box here in the center of the ring. Left-right combination by Valentino. Stankovic with a big chopping right hand. A left-right combination by Stankovic, and he's really trying to let his hands go now. He's up against the ropes. Valentino turns his back and starts to walk away as he listens to the referee's instructions. Stankovic adjusting his headgear, and Valentino letting off some lefts and rights. Left, right, left, right, left, right, all by Stankovic with Valentino's back against the ropes. Valentino continuing to ply his trade and to let this effective strategy continue to work for him. We'll see what happens. He lands a nice mean right, a nice mean one. Yes, you heard it, a nice mean right hand to the jaw of Stankovic, giving him a 17-12 lead. So the Serbian keeping it competitive, to say the least. However, he's down by 5. He's going to really need to pick up the action in round number 3. Looks like he's capable of doing so. He's got the skill set. He seems to have the motivation and the energy level, the heart, the desire, the will. But will that be enough? As long as the Italian chooses to play the spoiler and continue to stay outside of the Serbian's wheelhouse. The Serbian will need to continue to press the action. He needs to cut off the ring, be a better ring general. He's down by 5. He only lost by 1 point in that last round, and he lost by 4 in the first, as you can see there. He's got his work cut out for him here. How bad does he want to taste and breathe the fresh air of London next summer, the Olympic Games? We're going to find out. Now Valentino right off the block starting to throw his hands more than we have seen in the last round. Valentino looking like he's more willing to stand toe-to-toe and trade with Stankovic here than he even was in the second. Just nice to see a boxer with a comfortable lead choosing to continue to blow, or rather to throw blows with his opponent to the very end. And now both boxers go down. Little roughhousing. The referee's going to call them up, ask them to wipe their gloves off their shorts. And here comes Stankovic. Left hand by Stankovic. Now Valentino trying to lock him up. He doesn't want any part of that, and if he can't stay out of the way, he's got to figure out a way to lock horns with this guy. Only 2 minutes and change left in this third and final round. Nice left hand by Valentino. Stankovic is pushed back to the ropes as far as he could go. Valentino now pushes him to the other ropes. And the referee, of course, after 2 consecutive pushes, is going to caution Valentino on the pushing. A big right hand by the Serbian. That one scored. And another right-left combination. Another right seemed to get through by the Serbian. So Branimir Stankovic recognizes the urgency here, and he's seemingly going all out, all guns blazing. And now we see Stankovic catching a breather with his back against the ropes. Right hand by Valentino. Rights and lefts by Valentino. And here comes Stankovic now. It's gotten a little quiet here, at least in the ring. There's a lot of wrestling and infighting going on, but not too many clean punches landing. It looks like Valentino is just trying to muffle the offense that is Branimir Stankovic. And again, Valentino, hey, if he wants to play this way, he's better off just circling and staying away and keeping his hands up than going into the lion, than in wrestling. For nothing else, it doesn't look pretty. And if anything, he's going to keep himself more exposed to harm than if he would have just stay away from the guy. But he's choosing to stand in there with him, punch when he can, wrestle when he can, and Stankovic, for his part, is just going to, he's got 30 seconds. What can he do? Continue to throw his hands and hopefully land some punches. I mean, at this point, strategy's probably out the window, and it's all about punches and bunches. Just let him fire, and down goes Stankovic. Looks like he tripped over his own left foot. Seems to get up fairly unshaken by that, and now the referee's going to caution Stankovic for turning around. And Stankovic with his head down as Valentino helps with that matter, holds it down, and Stankovic comes with a big overhand right, and again puts his head down and pushes Valentino into the turnbuckle. 15 seconds left. The referee will caution Valentino to keep his hands up. A big right hand by Stankovic. That one scored, followed by an answer, a right hand by Valentino, and that one's going to earn him a standing 8 count. For what it's worth, the bout is just about over anyhow. And as soon as the count is finished, boxing will resume, or rather the round will come to a close. And that's it, folks. Valentino, Domenico, Branimir, Stankovic. Both retreat to their corner. We'll get the results in just a moment. As both boxers feeling confident, the Serbian thinks he may have done enough. He looks like he has the belief that he's done enough, although that could be perhaps some false confidence. As it turns out, it was closer than expected. It was only a 3-point bout, so he was able to close that edge by a few points, but not enough. And 26-23 to the victor goes the spoils, and Domenico Valentino will find himself on an express train to London next summer, as well as being back tomorrow for the quarterfinal round of the 2011 World Championships. Congratulations to Domenico, and good luck to both boxers as we look forward to seeing you each in the ring whenever we can. A little action from the last round. Miklos Varga is making his way to the ring from Hungary. He's 24 years old. And now Madadi Nagzibekov, 27 years old, from Tajikistan. So this will be an interesting one, because both of these boxers from Eastern European countries have lots of world-level amateur experience. The referee, Gerardo Poggi from Argentina, as he adjusts his bow tie, he may be in for quite a workout here. Meng, Madfua, Pizarro, Martinez, and Yakub, they're the judges for this contest. Miklos Varga from Hadsusaman. Yes, we've got that right. Hadsusaman, Hungary. He boxes for Harangi Imre, his coach Attila Mate. And on the world amateur level, he was at the 2005 World Senior Championships for AIBA in Mianjin, China. And again at 2007 in Chicago, where he lost to Eric Donovan in the first round. At 2009 Championships for AIBA in Milan, he lost to Eugen Burhard of Germany in the first round. Took first place at the 2009 Hungarian National Championships, as well as the 2010 and the 2011 Laszlo Papp Memorial Tournament. So Miklos Varga has been around. Madi Nagzibekov, 2009 AIBA World Championships in Milan, lost to Rafael Iglesias of Cuba in the second round. And we saw him in Incheon early this year at the Asian Championships, where he took the bronze. So both of these boxers have been around the block. Varga from Hungary in the red corner. Nagzibekov from Tajikistan in the blue corner. And Varga comes out throwing that left hand, and Nagzibekov very fast. You could see it right away. He's on his man. He's looking to get off first if he can. Both boxers have been really feeling each other out for the first 30 seconds. And here comes Nagzibekov, digging rights and lefts to the body. And Varga now coming back with his own. There's a lunging left hook by Nagzibekov, and now a jab downstairs. He throws it to the body. Varga with a right-left combination. Both boxers in the orthodox stance. Nagzibekov with a right, and here comes Varga. So we're getting a loud chant in the crowd tonight. There's an Azerbaijani boxer in the other ring, and you could hear the local crowd supporting their man. Right hand by Nagzibekov. Left to the body, that's a nice one. And left-right combination by Varga to the head of Nagzibekov. So Nagzibekov coming back with a right hand. Both of these boxers trading punch by punch, blow by blow. Now Nagzibekov has Varga in the corner, and as he turns him, Nagzibekov throws a right hand and another. And here comes Varga with an uppercut, short and cute, to the point. Right hand by Varga again. And It's a nice jab by Nagzibekov when he throws it. When he really commits to it, it's effective. And as a right-left combination, the left hand by Nagzibekov seems to slow Varga down, if not for just a brief moment. Left right by Nagzibekov, and there's a quick, sharp left uppercut by Nagzibekov again, and a left to the body as the referee's going to caution him. And now Nagzibekov continues to come forward. He seems very, very calculated in his offense. He's taking small steps. He's throwing his punches very efficiently, lefts and rights, and when he throws them with authority, with bad intentions, does Nagzibekov. Varga, to his credit, is standing in there toe-to-toe with a skilled technician and even landing a few of his own, as you could see right there. Now he's starting to use that jab more effectively. And Varga makes his way back to the corner, and it's a very close bout so far with Varga, a 7-5 lead, so he did enough to impress the judges with actions like those, and Nagzibekov is keeping it close. Round number 2 underway. Nagzibekov off first here in round number 2. He knows he's down on points. It's only a few, but he looks like he would box this way no matter what, whether he was winning or losing. With a very effective style, a confident and clean style. Now Nagzibekov has Varga up against the ropes. A sharp uppercut, 2 of them by Nagzibekov, and here comes Varga firing back with straight rights of his own. It's a nice straight right hand by Varga, and to his credit, a nice straight left as well. You know, Varga throws some really nice, crisp, straight punches when he throws them. He's tight in his delivery, but he's loose in his form, so it makes for a nice contrast, and it's pretty to watch. And perhaps the judges feel the same way. And that's what's most important, impressing the judges. So Nagzibekov continues to press the action. Left hand right down the pike. A right hand uppercut by Nagzibekov through the guard, and now Varga continues to come forward, and this is going to be interesting to see how the judges have this, because both of these boxers are really letting each other have it. They haven't let up an inch. A wild right uppercut thrown from a distance by Nagzibekov. Not the type of punch you could throw from afar. The hook, the uppercut, you really got to be in close in order to make those effective punches. Just the same, Varga standing in there and giving Nagzibekov every opportunity to land. It's just that Varga's got a pretty good defense to his credit. And it's not as easy as it looks, folks. It's just not as easy as these brilliant young boxers make it look. Strong overhand right by Nagzibekov. Referee going to caution Varga. It is really starting to get loud here in the Haydar Aliyev Sports Complex. Left hand left, right, left by Varga. Right hand by Varga. Here's a straight left by Nagzibekov, a right hand to the body by Varga. Left hand by Varga, and now Nagzibekov is starting to lean forward. He's trying to lean on his man and get away with some cute left hooks like that, which, by the way, are very effective, and a nice right uppercut by Varga to conclude the round. And now, looking at the score at the end of round 2, it's still very close. It's a high-scoring match. The Hungarian over the Tajikistanian by a score of 18-13. And now we see the red corner Varga starting to plunge forward. 18-13 is the score. So I really do believe that Madadi Nagzibekov has what it takes to come back, to stem the tide. Look at his corner. They're telling him to keep his hands up, to use good footwork, to sneak himself inside with his feet and then land those short chopping punches. And I concur wholeheartedly, that would be an effective strategy, but he's got to execute it flawlessly, and he's got to continue to throw punches at all costs. There's a nice left to the body, nice tight defense. Nagzibekov continuing to plunge forward. A quick right by Varga, though. The one thing Nagzibekov has to be careful of, and unfortunately there's not really much of a good way around it, he's just got to be careful of the counter punching, because as he's throwing more punches, he's going to be exposing himself more. He's going to be taking his hands away from their protective stance as a guard, and Varga, the skilled tactician that he is, will look for those opportunities to score on counterpunching. And now Varga pushes the action back to the center of the ring. Right hand by Nagzibekov. He seems to have slowed his pace for a minute. And now Varga seems very confident there. He must feel that if he keeps doing what he's done through rounds 1 and 2, he's going to be able to pull this off. He may be right. It's a gamble. He hasn't really thrown many punches, except now he's answering back with a nice chopping right to the head and a right uppercut to the chin. Left hand by Nagzibekov, and now Varga is going to do what he can to come back, and there he answers it. So every time Nagzibekov throws, Varga's got an answer for the question. And Nagzibekov continuing to show a lot of heart, a lot of will. Both of these boxers are in excellent condition. You could see that. They haven't really slowed their pace much since round 1. They're still throwing punches as if it's the first round. Nagzibekov is looking for those angles. He's looking for a way in, but Varga's just got such a smart defense. He's got his elbow. Look how his elbows are in tight to protect his ribcage. His hands are up to protect his head. Even when they come down momentarily, they come right back up into position. He's got great vision, does Varga, and he sees those opportunities. Even though the windows are so small because Nagzibekov is so fast, he throws his hands out and he gets them back real quick. But Varga is quick enough that as soon as that happens, he capitalizes. There's a nice overhand right by Varga. A right downstairs by Varga. Nice of Varga to switch the pace, but then Nagzibekov answers with a body shot of his own. So there's 10 seconds left. The referee's going to caution Nagzibekov to keep his punches above the belt line. Chopping right by Nagzibekov. Left blocked. He goes down to the body, partially blocked by Varga, and that's it. Round 3 is in the books. This one will be very close. Lucky we got 5 judges here at ringside to have counted these punches from all angles. The Hungarian boxer's corner feels like their man has done enough. He looked good in there, that's for sure. Nagzibekov, perhaps a little dismayed, perhaps a little down on himself, having gone into the third round with such a deficit, did he do enough? And we await this exciting conclusion. And he gets it. Going to the London Olympics is Hungarian boxer, 24-year-old Miklos Varga by a score of 28-20. He will move on to the quarterfinals tomorrow. Very impressive win for Miklos Varga. You could see the action there. That was a very high-level amateur contest. Both boxers extremely skilled. Neither one really giving. It was like a high-level chess match where both of the participants were thinking 5-6 steps ahead, which you sort of need to do even in boxing, which often has been compared to chess, especially when you're dealing with such high-leveled boxers. That said, we now move on to the third bout of the evening. Eugen Burhard, 24 from Germany, out of the red corner. And the Uzbeki boxer out of the blue corner, Fazliddin Gaibnazarov. David Lorado from the USA is the referee for this contest. Castro, Zooks, Tariq, Main, and Kennedy are the judges. We look at the resume of German Eugen Burhard. He was in the 2009 AIBA World Championships in Milan, took 7th place. 2010 European Championships in Moscow, took 3rd. 2011 German RSA dual match won. He beat Lutando Naikaya with a score of 25-3. And he also took 3rd place in the Chemistry Cup in Halle, Germany. So, Eugen Burhard, no stranger to this sport of amateur boxing. Fazliddin Gaibnazarov from Uzbekistan, well, in 2010, he took 1st at the Sidney Jackson Memorial Tournament in Uzbekistan. He took 2nd at the Papanchenko Memorial Tournament in Moscow. He also took 2nd this year at the Chemistry Cup in Halle, as well as getting 3rd place at the Makar Mazai Memorial Tournament in Mariupol, Ukraine. So both boxers well prepared for this bout. Winner takes not all, but certainly takes a lot. A chance to London. Rather a ticket to London and a chance to proceed in this tournament, at least at tomorrow's quarterfinal matchups and perhaps beyond. And both boxers looking intent on landing the first flurry. Again, we have Burhard from Germany in the red corner, Gaibnazarov from Uzbekistan in the blue. Burhard, the taller boxer. And as they both stand toe-to-toe and do the delicate dance that we love to see between two boxers, who's going to make the first mistake? Who's going to be able to capitalize on the other's first mistake? These are the questions we will soon have answered. Burhard throws a right hand, gets blocked. And they lock up in the center. Gaibnazarov throwing pretty much short punches, range finders, trying to find a way to get inside the longer armed Burhard. Right hand thrown by Burhard falls short of its mark. He threw that one downstairs to no avail. And a left hand by Gaibnazarov. That one looks like it may have touched him on the chin, him being Burhard. Yeah, again, the shorter boxer, it's the age-old story. The shorter boxer needs to get inside. The longer boxer is well advised to stay on the outside. and use that jab. How does a shorter boxer get in there? Well, for one, with footwork. For two, with good body movement, bobbing and weaving, avoiding the jab, which will no doubt be coming as a defensive mechanism by the longer boxer, using the bobbing and weaving technique, getting his feet underneath him to get closer, to put his chest on the opponent, and to start ripping shots to the body. Uppercuts are always a nice effective punch for a shorter boxer because the area that he's trying to hit is at a lower distance height-wise. He's not trying to hit the face. He's really trying to hit underneath the chin. So he gets an additional perhaps 6 inches or so less for which his punch needs to travel for maximum impact. And now Burhard pushes his man off, looks to the referee who separates the action for just a brief moment, and Gaibnazarov continues to move forward. Nice double right hand chopping hook by Burhard in the clinch. That's a good thing for him to do as a taller boxer. That's normally the domain of the shorter boxer, but nobody apparently told that to Burhard. And round one in the books, and it's a score of 2-0 for Germany. See some action from round number one as Burhard continues to chop away at his opponent. Now Burhard more on the retreating end. The Uzbeki boxer down by a couple. Going to need to keep the pressure on his man and not let Burhard stay away. Needs to cut off the ring and use his feet. Use his feet. Did I say use his feet? That's what Gaibnazarov needs to do to get inside. Not his hands, his feet. Most people focus on, shouldn't say most people, some people focus on the hands in boxing because that's the natural focal point of the action. That's where our eyes are drawn to, is to see the boxer's hands, because the sport is about hands, at least punching and not kicking. But that doesn't mean the feet don't play a part. On the contrary, the feet play an extremely important part, not only for balance, especially for power. That's where the power derives from, through the ground, up the shoe, up the leg. It travels into the hip region and through the shoulder, and that's where the power gets generated. But also, it's for placement. It's for body placement. The boxer needs to use his foot, especially the shorter boxer. He needs to use his feet to get inside, the closer, or get on top of the chest, rather, of the taller boxer, so that he could land those punches. He can't land them from outside, and he can't get in there with his hands. His hands are too short, so he needs to use his feet. Gaibnazarov needs to use his feet now, because he's halfway through the second round. He's down on points, and he can't wait till the third round to start catching up. It'll be too late. And Burhard, to his credit, is going to do what he does. He'll continue to tie up the smaller man when he gets inside. He'll continue to box from the outside when he can, and try and skate to a victory here, which he'd be well advised to do. If Gaibnazarov is going to let him get away with it, well then why not? This is the World Championships. Everyone's trying to get to London. Burhard's no different. And they lock up again. And notice how when they do get into a clinch, the seconds, the ever so valuable seconds, start to tick away on that clock. And they go and they go and they go. And Gaibnazarov cannot afford to lose valuable seconds. He needs to be scoring during that time, not clinching. Now, if he's going to throw punches during the clinch, well, that's fine. But he's got to do that. He can't just sit there and wait for the referee to separate him. Bad and inefficient use of time and energy for Gaibnazarov. There's an interesting chopping open-handed punch using the inner part of the glove, not proper, and the referee cautioned Burhard for that. Now Burhard is pushed into the corner, round number 2, as well in the books. And now, with a score tied in the second round of 2-2, we see that Burhard maintains his 2-point edge going into the third round 4-2. So kudos to Gaibnazarov for keeping the second round even. Unfortunately, he needs to do more in round 3. He needs to actually turn the tide on Burhard. And there's only one way to do that, and that's with a lot of punches. Get in there with his feet, start ripping shots to the body, score points. 2 points is not that hard to get in this sport. You could get them on one clean combination punch. Now you could get 3 if you bloody throw a 3-punch combination with all of those punches landing cleanly. As I said, he'll have to throw clean punches and combinations if he's going to be able to score that efficiently. And he'll have to do it soon because precious time is clicking away. And now Burhard has spun Gaibnazarov around. His back was to him. The referee broke that up. It's round number 3. 2-2-2 is the time on the clock. Gaibnazarov, I don't understand why he would do that. I don't understand why he would just wait. And there it is. Finally, the referee is going to issue a caution. And these are the 2 valuable points that we were talking about. Gaibnazarov needed a 2-punch clean combination, or he needed a warning against the German. And that's what he just got, which could mean that this is very much a close match here in the final 2 minutes of round 3. For all intents and purposes, this could very well be a tie score as of right now. Now Gaibnazarov needs to continue to apply the pressure. He needs to put it all on the line. He can't wait for Burhard to lock him up and let the clock go. Burhard, from his perspective, can no longer just continue to try and lock up the smaller boxer and stay on the outside and skate to a victory, because it's just too close. He cannot take the chance. Too many boxers have made the wrong assumption that they were up on the scorecard just to find out they were wrong. So Burhard needs to really start to apply the pressure himself. He needs to start using his jab. As you see there, he needs to keep his distance. He needs to not lock up. He already got a warning for the locking up that you see right there. He now needs to stay on the outside, use that long jab, score from the outside, follow it up with a big right hand, stay out of the harm's way of the littler Gaibnazarov. But he continues to go inside like that. He's risking a lot. There's too much at stake to execute a poor game plan, which that would seem to be. I am Castle calling the action here at ringside in the Haydar Aliyev Sports Complex here in downtown, beautiful downtown Baku, Azerbaijan, where the Azerbaijani Boxing Federation and AIBA have done a wonderful job putting this show on for us. There's a lot of organizational logistics that come into play here, and they've pulled it off seamlessly so far. 30 seconds left here in the third and final round. And Gaibnazarov continues to use his head to try and push through. The referee says, issues a caution, and now, with under 20 seconds, this is really where it comes down to. This is where champions are made, sometimes in the final moments. One big punch. I don't know that Gaibnazarov has it in him to score with a knockout, but perhaps a couple of clean flurries at the end. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case for him, and now we will have to see how the judges have this. As Eugen Burhard gets his headgear removed. And the gloves come off of Fazliddin Gaibnazarov from Uzbekistan. The American referee is going to check both their wraps, make sure their hands are good. We're going to get that score in just a moment here. Who's going to London? Who's going to the quarterfinals tomorrow? And who's going home? Computer has tallied up the scores. And he has done it. The Uzbekistani boxer so happy. He lifts Eugen Burhard off by a 1-point margin. Fazliddin Gaibnazarov, having been down in rounds 1 and 2, he gets the warning to his benefit in the third, coupled with some aggressive, persistent action. And look at that. Fazliddin Gaibnazarov has shown what a little persistence and a lot of confidence can do. He's taken down the bigger German by 1 point in the third and final round, and kudos to him. He's going to London. The Uzbekis add another notch to their belt. We will see him tomorrow in the quarterfinals. Congratulations, Fazliddin Gaibnazarov.
Board number 478, men's line 60 kilo, orange corner, Conceicao, Brazilian.
And here is a matchup much anticipated. This is another 60-kilogram bout between two highly decorated amateurs. Robson Conceicao, he is from Brazil. Vasil Lomachenko is from the Ukraine. And both of these boxers have plenty of world experience. Kim Si-gwan, the referee from Korea, he is going to have the best seat in the house. Julie Pizarro-Pogi, Madfua Putsajidis, and Sida Yakub are the judges. Let's take a brief look at the resumes here. Robson Conceicao, he was in the Summer Olympics of 2008 in Beijing. He lost 12-4 in the first preliminary round. And in 2009, he was at the AIBA World Championships in Milan, where he lost to Yasnier Toledo of Cuba 21-7 in the preliminary. He also took the 2011 second Pan American Game qualifier in Quito, Ecuador gold, as well as the 11 World Military Game first place medal in Rio de Janeiro. Lomachenko, to his credit, also in the 2007 AIBA World Championships, he got second place with a loss to Albert Selimov, his perhaps some say arch rival, who actually got disqualified earlier in this tournament. Many thought we'd see the rubber match. They each had one against the other going into this, including the Olympic Games in 2008, where Lomachenko was a participant, and he actually beat Albert Selimov in the first preliminary round and ultimately went on to grab the gold in 2008. He also took first place in the 2009 AIBA World Championships in Milan, first place in the Ukrainian National Championships in 2010 and 11. An extremely smart and clean boxer is Lomachenko. Real exciting to watch. He's on the highest of high levels when it comes to amateur boxing. Conceicao from Brazil in the red corner, Lomachenko from the Ukraine in the blue corner. Lomachenko very light on his feet. You could see he moves in and out with the utmost of ease, like a well-oiled piston. His hips just continue to move in and out. His legs, his upper body. He's one perfectly oiled machine in the ring, and it shows. He also throws punches like a battering ram. in one of his earlier bouts in this tournament, he stopped his man with a vicious liver shot, a left hook, rather. Yeah, it was a left hook to the body at that time. And boy, his opponent went down and could not get up. That was it, lights out in the second round. So, Lomachenko, not one to be reckoned with, but Conceicao also not too shabby. First round has been pretty even. Lomachenko continuing to press the action. He wants to go back to London. He wants a second gold medal on his wall at the Olympics. Conceicao, he'll take his first if he could get it, but first he's got to get through the stiffest of competition here in Vasyl Lomachenko. Good defense by Conceicao. Robson starting to figure out a game plan. It looked like he came in here just to, at least at first, to measure his man, but now he realizes the time for studying in-ring is over and he needs to start effectively scoring points. Lomachenko, and by the way, this is a good technique by Robson here. If he could continue to hold the arms and fluster Lomachenko, he may be able to steal some points during the infighting. It looks like it's his intention to do that, whereas Lomachenko doesn't like having his arms held. And you can see the referee is going to caution Robson, so he does have to be careful, because 3 cautions will equal a warning for the same violation, and there's one of them right there. Nice chopping left hand by Robson. Scored to the head of Lomachenko. And again, they're tying up there. This time it wasn't as much Robson's fault, but a nice shot by Lomachenko seemed to buckle Robson just a bit. Left to the body, a right to the body, a left up the middle, and a right hand, all to end round number 1, and all by Vasyl Lomachenko. So Lomachenko goes back to his corner, and we see the score is all tied at 5-5. So it doesn't get closer than that. These are 2 very skilled tacticians. They're both fast. They're both young. They're both around 23 years old, each born in 1988, just a few months apart. And you can look at some of the action. There's a nice left hand by Lomachenko. That's the one that pushed Robson back and off balance. Very tight fight so far. And as the referee is going to send both boxers to the corner. And now he's going to let it continue with the sounding of the bell for round 1, and Lomachenko comes firing out first. Rights and lefts by Robson. Robson, the taller fighter, the longer arms. He also would be well served to not let Lomachenko in, but it seems like Lomachenko has such good footwork that he's going to find a way in. It's not a question of if, it's a question of how and when, but he will get there. Which is probably why Robson figures, well, I'm not going to keep him from getting inside, but maybe what I could do is fluster his efforts when he is inside. That's why we perhaps saw the holding of the arms down there in the clinch, which seemed to be an effective strategy and really flustered. Lomachenko loves to throw his hands, and when his hands are tied up and restricted, it bothers him. Almost looks like the way a claustrophobic person would feel in an elevator, like, get me out of here. He doesn't have much patience for it. And anything to fluster Vasyl is going to be a benefit to Robson. So now Vasyl continues to throw punches from the inside from all angles. Nice right hand to the body, followed by a left hook upstairs, and now back down to the body. Look at the variation of punches being thrown by Lomachenko. Look at the way he turns. He gets out of harm's way. He constantly keeps his opponents on edge because he's constantly turning them, and you can see the score right there, a close-up. It was 5-5 in round 1. And Vasyl just really feisty. He's really hard to hold down. And Robson, to his credit, is doing a wonderful job. I'm not sure how the judges see it halfway through round 2, but there's a sharp jumping right hand, a lunging right hand by Lomachenko. Seems to have caught Robson off guard and even landed. And now Robson goes down, but that looks like it's going to be the result of a slip more than anything else. Referee's going to separate them, and boxing resumes. We're almost at the end of the quarter mark here for the evening session, about an hour in, and we are watching two of the best fighters in this tournament go at it right here. Both former Olympians, both world champions, or let me take that back, both world championship participants. So between the two of them, they're at the highest level that you could be at in this sport. Nice sneaky right hand by Robson. That one looks like it may have even scored, and here comes Lomachenko with a couple of hands thrown from the hip. The referee is going to call a caution to that for actually landing them on the hip. No surprise they landed on Robson's hip. They were thrown from Vasil's hips. Body shots that drifted a little low, according to the ref. And here comes Vasil, just continuing to throw punches. He does not tire. And down goes, nope, it looks like that one is going to be ruled a slip. It was the result of a lunging punch, but I suppose he may have tripped over his own foot trying to get away from it more so than going down as a result of the punch itself. And there's a sharp right hand by Lomachenko. Amazing how he's able to get in there like that, and the taller boxers and the well-schooled taller boxers like Robson. But he did. And now we see the Brazilian. Look at that, 13-10. Can Robson Conceicao do what many didn't think was possible and eliminate Lomachenko from this tournament here in the in the round of 16? So this is going to be interesting because the Ukrainian rarely finds himself down by 3 going into the third and final round. You know it doesn't make him comfortable. And this is a good opportunity, if possible, for Robson. You know, with a guy like Lomachenko, maybe the best thing you can do is stay away. That doesn't mean to not give him a fair fight, but what it does mean is you are the taller boxer. You know that he's going to try and find a way to get inside at all costs. He needs to land those punches. So what do you do if you're Robson? You keep circling. Keep your distance. Throw your punches. You don't have to ride your bike. You don't have to stay away. Just keep your distance. Use that jab. Keep circling. Look, Vasil now has to apply the pressure. He's at the disadvantage of having no choice but to continue to come forward. He's going to also open himself up perhaps to counterpunching, perhaps in his haste, if the word is in his vocabulary, if the action is in his genetic makeup, that being of haste. Lomachenko, a very efficient boxer. Quick left hand right off the break by Lomachenko. That one could have snuck in. And Robson, again, don't mix it up with him. It'd be well served to stay away. And look how frustrated Lomachenko gets when his arms, a smart move by Robson. That's a nice, hopefully he doesn't get a warning. That's a nice veteran move by Robson. Lock up the gloves for as long as he could and then stick his hands up in the air to say, it's not me, ref. Smart. He already got one warning for that, but it doesn't mean he may not be able to push the limits a little bit, but he's got to be careful. If he pushes it too far and gets a warning, that's 2 points in Lomachenko's pocket. Those will be critical points if he has to give them up. So down goes Robson. The timekeeper stops the clock. The referee issuing a caution to Robson for putting his head down and to Lomachenko for pushing down. Lomachenko ripping to the body. Again, they lock up. The referee going to caution Lomachenko from using his head. Lomachenko feeling the urgency. He's halfway through this third and final round. He came in down by 2 with a score that he was not comfortable with a position in the scoring that he was not comfortable with. He rarely is losing, and he's rarely, if ever, losing in the third round. And now Lomachenko letting his hands go a little more. The referee is going to take a point to or rather give a warning to Lomachenko. That is tremendous. He'd already cautioned him more than once, at least once, if not twice, for hitting on the hips. And now, with 2 points going into the front pockets of Robson Conceicao, one on the left and one on the right, this is going to be quite an obstacle for Lomachenko to come back from. It already was an even matchup in the third round. Now, the referee is going to take a point from Robson, or rather give a warning and add two to Lomachenko. So the very 2-point, the 2-point advantage that Robson just enjoyed, he just lost it, just like that. And now a little infighting, the arms locking up. Lomachenko perhaps gets a resurgence of confidence after that last warning went in his favor. And again, trying to break his hands free, ripping a left to the body, a body shot, and down goes Robson Conceicao. Unbelievable. He may not get up from this one, folks. He's getting the count. The count's at 5. It's at 6. He is up, but that one was brutal. Out of nowhere. We told you earlier that Lomachenko has a vicious body shot. He showed it right there. Will Robson be able to continue, or is the referee going to take a point? He's going to take a point. It was a body shot, but the referee gives a warning. Another one to Lomachenko, a third warning, and he will be disqualified for that. But there's only 20 seconds left, and now Lomachenko just pouring it on. He senses the urgency. There's 10 seconds left, and Robson is going to keep slugging away with him. He's got to keep his hands up. He doesn't need another shot like that. Nice work. Robson goes down again with 3 seconds left. Lomachenko, very, very close here. This is going to be a major upset, I can assure you. The gold medalist from 2008, the big favorite here in this tournament. Robson thinks it's over. It is over. He goes to his corner. His headgear is removed. Look at that. It looks like we may have seen the unseating of Vasyl Lomachenko. It doesn't mean he can't make it back to the Olympics. There will be a continental qualifier for Vasyl, and you can never count him out. He's just too dangerous. But now, as both boxers get called to the center, the Brazilian, hand in the air, he believes he's going to be victorious here. The referee waiting for a sign. He asks both boxers to keep their hands down so he can raise one of them in victory. And the winner is Robson Conceicao. He unseats by a 1-point margin, 20-19. He unseats Vasyl Lomachenko. Wow, this tournament is exciting. This tournament has been nothing but excitement. There's been knockouts. There's been early stoppages. There's been extreme athleticism seen from ring to ring and corner to corner, and there's just another example of it. So you can hear it from the crowd as Robson Conceicao from Brazil defeats Vasyl Lomachenko from the Ukraine and moves on to the semifinals, the quarterfinals, as well as securing himself a spot in the 2012 Olympic Games. And by the way, it does not mean yet that Lomachenko is out. The way that the ranking systems work here, especially in this weight class, there's 10 boxers that will secure a spot to London. It's the 8 semifinalists, and then those that lost to the ultimate gold and silver medalist. So if Robson goes on to win the gold or win the silver, in other words, if he makes it to the finals, then that will likely assure a spot for Lomachenko just the same. So he's not out yet, so it seems, but it's no longer in his hands, and that's the difference. Let's take a look at our next round, our next bout rather. We've gotten through a quarter of the matchups here in the evening session. We've gotten through half of the men's lightweight, and now we're about to embark on the second half. This bout between Yasnir Toledo from Cuba and Sailom Ardee from Thailand. Toledo, he got 6th place in the 2009 AIBA World Championships in Milan, 1st place in the 2010 Pan American Championships in Quito, Ecuador, 1st place in the 2011 First Pan American Games qualifier in Cumana, Venezuela, and 1st place in the 2011 Cuban National Team Championships. So Toledo ready to take on the world. Sailom Ardee from Thailand, he was in the 2005 World Senior Championships in Mianyang, China. He was in the 2007 Games, took 7th in Chicago. He was also in the 2008 Summer Olympics in Beijing, where he lost to Abdelkar Chadi of Algeria just by a 1-point margin in the first round. And in 2009, he was also in Milan, where he lost to Albert Selimov, the aforementioned Russian boxer, in the 3rd preliminary. Of course, this year, he took 1st at the Thai National Open Championship. So Toledo out of Cuba in the red, Ardee out of Thailand in the blue. And Ardee lunges forward with a left-right combination. Check that, Toledo. Here comes Ardee with a right-left of his own. Ardee boxing in the orthodox stance. Toledo, southpaw style. And now Toledo lunges forward. Ardee does a good job of retreating, avoiding harm. They lock up here in the center. And there's Ardee lunging forward with Toledo's back against the ropes. And Ardee now, hands up high, looking for an opportunity to get in there, while Toledo is backpedaling just a bit. Nice left hand by Ardee. So we're almost at the halfway point. There's been a lot of grabbing, a lot of holding here in the center of the ring. We are in the Heydar Aliyev Sports Complex in Baku, Azerbaijan. It's the 2011 AIBA World Championships. I Am Castle Chalice calling the action here in the B ring. And there's a quick short right hand by Ardee. Sends Toledo back just a bit. Lunging right by Toledo, falls short. It's a little quiet point in the action, a little lull. With a minute to go in the first round, a sharp right hand, a baby hook by Toledo. That one scored and generated some applause from the crowd, and followed it up with a left. Right left by Ardee again. Lunging left by Ardee, which falls short, and now Toledo comes back with a left. So there's an ebb and flow to this bout so far in round number 1. Each boxer giving a little, taking a little, looking to capitalize on a mistake of the other. There haven't been too many mistakes so far. And now a little wrestling, a little roughhousing tactic as the Cuban hits the canvas hard. The referee going to caution Ardee about such maneuvering. 10 seconds left in the round. That's it, round 1 in the books. See the score after one round. It's 5-3, Cuba over Thailand. The referee standing solemn in the ring. Solomon, not to be confused with Solemn in, the wise one, the king. And now Ardee throws a quick right hand, and Toledo pretty light on his feet there. You see he's got some good movement. A skinny little guy. He's got long, lean legs. Come out like bean poles, but they're very effective. Notice how he's so light on his feet that he could get in there, commit to his punches, and then step away. Very impressive to see the way he bounces on his feet like that. A lot of spring in his step, and that's great, especially when it comes time to retreat and advance in a moment's notice, and also to circle away. And we see now that Toledo is trying to do his work from the outside while Ardee is trying to do his work from the inside. And now they tie up in the corner, and Toledo pushes Ardee's head back in the corner, and now they wrestle again. So it's a sloppy fight. It's not either boxer's fault directly. It's what happens sometimes. Styles make fights, and when they blend, it looks good, and when they don't, it looks a little sloppy. There's not too much clean punching going on. That's partly because of good defense by both boxers, and partly because, well, somewhat of a lull in the pace. There's a lot of interruptions, as you could see. A lot of self-inflicted interruptions. Either because there's a nice sharp right hand though by Toledo. That one looked good. What happens is they end up locking up in the clinch. They trip over one another's legs. They stay away from each other. Things that aren't promoted towards exciting interaction between two boxers in the ring like this. There's a lot of this. It sort of slows down the pace, takes the rhythm out of it. But at this point, the only people that they need to impress are themselves. They need to, well, let's take that back. They need to impress the judges first, and by doing so, hopefully impress themselves with the outcome of this bout. So right now, the question is, what are the judges seeing? They saw the Cuban up by 2 in the first. What will they see at the end of round 2? It's been a tough bout to score, I imagine, because of the interruptions, because of the less than clean-looking punches being thrown by the boxers. But the judges have a great vantage point. There's 5 of them around the ring. These judges that are brought here to these world championships are the best that AIBA has to offer, and look at that. Cuba goes up 13-7, so a 6-point lead by the Cuban boxer. And again, we've seen this time and again, it is extremely hard to overcome a 6-point deficit, especially going into the 3rd round. That's just by the nature of the scorekeeping system here in the amateurs, and we'll see what happens. Now, the Thai boxer is getting instructions from his corner. Salam Ardee, 174 centimeters tall. These are lightweights. Ripping right to the body by Toledo. Referee's going to caution Ardee, and Now a nice sharp right hand by Toledo. Look at that, the way that Toledo throws that from his hip. It's an uppercut that lands solid on the jaw of Ardee, and that's how he's scoring his points, with occasional one-punch clean shots. He's not throwing punches and bunches. He hasn't thrown many combinations, not since the beginning of the first round. But when he does land a clean punch, it's very impressive. He throws them with laser speed and pinpoint accuracy. And that's no doubt what's kept him with a comfortable lead through much of this bout. Ardee now finding himself playing the necessary role of the aggressor, because he's got to sort of steal back some of those points from Toledo. And Ardee is looking for any opportunity to get in there. I see a lot of opportunity in the midsection of Toledo if Ardee could somehow figure out a way, but he's got to be careful from quick lefts like that by Toledo, which are going to score and work against his efforts here. Maybe he could start with a lead jab, double it up, triple it up. It's a rare punch. Unfortunately, because it's such an easy punch and such an effective punch to throw, it's actually a combination of punches. It's a double jab, it's a triple jab. You double it up, you triple it, and it doesn't take hardly any extra energy to throw. You're already in there throwing one, but what it does is it bothers your opponent and it distracts him. He's not expecting two, and he's certainly not expecting three, and while he's trying to figure out what's going on, you could follow it up with a right to the body and score some clean shots, because those jabs are going to cause him to bring his hands up, cause him to flinch, cause him to try and avoid those punches, and he's going to leave himself wide open in the belly for a right to the body. So something Ardee may be able to do more effectively to try and rack up some points here. Not that right there. Throwing punches into the high guard of Toledo won't get him any points. Not unless they're thrown with enough rapidity to somehow penetrate the guard, which it just doesn't look like that's happening. And it looks like that is the end of the bout. Not exactly sure what happened there, but perhaps the Thai boxer had just seen enough. We'll get an answer to that one right quick. The Cuban boxer gets the victory. Yasnier Toledo. Impressive work. That one's in the books now as well. You could see the action here from round number 2. Toledo's able to evade much of that stuff that Ardee was throwing, and now Ardee starts to apply the pressure. He starts to move forward. He's got Toledo's back against the ropes. He eats a small left hand there. Wasn't that much to his detriment. There's another left hand. Very fast. Quick on the draw is Yasnier Toledo. And that's how it ends, folks. So another one in the books. We've got 3 more lightweight bouts and then up to the heavyweights. And we are taking a brief moment here as we await the entrance of our next boxers.
Red corner, Thompson, Korea. Blue corner, Liu Qiang, China.
Han-soon, 27 years old. From Korea. Liu Qiang, 29 years old, from China.
Red corner, Domenico.
Referee Hans Broville from Denmark.
Blue corner, Italy.
Jumanayev, Asanau, Bassi, Caulfield, and Germain are the judges. As you see the Chinese, or rather the Korean, boxer getting his headgear adjusted by his corner. Han-soon Chul, 179 centimeters, boxes for Seoul Metropolitan Government. That's the boxing club. He lives in Seoul. He was in the Chicago World Championships in 2007 and the Milan World Championships in 2009. Lost to Domenico Valentino in that one, who we had seen box earlier this morning, this evening, the first bout. And he was a participant in the 2011 Asian Championships in Incheon, Korea earlier this year. Liu Qiang from China. First place in the 2008 Chinese Nationals, second place in the 2009 Nationals, second place in the 2010 China Open tournament, and also in the Asian Championships in Korea. He lost to Medzhidov Aidar from Kazakhstan just here in 2011. So both boxers well traveled, seasoned, not too much spice, but certainly seasoned. Again, we have Chul from Korea in the red corner, Qiang from China in the blue corner. As you can see on the graphics, Han and Liu. Han in the red corner, Liu in the blue corner. Liu pushes off from the break with his right hand as Han comes forward with a right to the belly, falls short, and now Han is going to try and figure out a way to deal with this southpaw style of Q, rather Liu. Liu boxing southpaw style, Han boxing conventional. You got to watch out for the missteps of the two lead feet of the boxers. They often tangle up, step on one another as each boxer advances. That's a particular challenge that these youngsters learn at an early age, particularly having as many amateur bouts as they have. They all meet plenty of boxers that box in both styles, so they do have a feel for each. Here comes a lunging Han. The referee is going to issue a caution to Liu, and there's a nice right hand right out of the backfield by Han. And again, they're going to tie up here, so we may be in store for another clinching type battle. And now you see Han continuing to press the action as Liu seems somewhat comfortable playing the defensive position for a while now. That could all change in 15 seconds or so when we get the score of round number 1. A lot changes when a boxer sees that they're up on points or not. Chopping right hand by Han scores to the left jaw of Liu, or the left side of Liu's jaw. And there it is, very close, 4-3. The Korean boxer, after just 1 round, Korean boxer and the Chinese boxer both being tended to in their corner. Chinese boxer choosing to stand, the Korean boxer choosing to sit. Sometimes that's a personal preference, sometimes it's a perceived psychological advantage. Perhaps to have your opponent see you not sweating, as they say. Don't let him see you sweat. And that could be part of his tactic. We've seen it from others, if it is a tactic. Han with a 1-point lead over Liu going into this second round. And not much happening here in the beginning of round 2 either. It's much of the same as the first round. There's a lot of interruption of the action. Both of these boxers looking for an advantage. Neither of them choosing to throw their punches in bunches. Neither of them really putting the punches together much at all. There's a lot of posturing going on here, as you could see. Neither boxer wanting to make the first engagement and risk making an error that their opponent could capitalize on. And as a result of neither boxer really interested in taking much risk, you're getting this sort of lull in this interrupted action that perhaps makes it for a longer seeming fight. However, again, styles make fights, and the winner here does go on to London, so to each his own with regards to the style employed in this contest. And now the hard-charging Han comes forward, and again, Liu wraps him up. Left hand by Han, and now they start to exchange in the clinch, and Liu looks like he got the better of that with a right hand to the body. Left hand by Liu. And another left-right combination. So action picking up a little bit here in round 2. For the most part, very much a tactical bout, a posturing bout. And now a right chopping baby hook to the head, perhaps the side of the head by Han. The referee is going to caution Han on his punching. And we've seen this in other points in the evening where the boxer doesn't want to commit, doesn't want to open himself up to exposure for fear of being counterpunched or even worse. However, these boxers need to understand that you need to impress the judges. And if you're not throwing punches, if you're not landing clean shots, if you're not showing ring generalship, and you're only showing a cautious defensive style, you're only going to be as good as your last punch. And in this instance, with the score being so close as it was going into the first, we're not sure what the judges are really seeing, but we hope that for both of the boxers' sake, that they're seeing enough here to warrant a favorable reading on the side of those judges. So with that, we will take a break and come back in just a moment for the round.
several.
And we see here that the third round, we got some more tying up between the boxers. And now, Liu's starting to press the action just a little bit more. With the round number 2 going in the favor of the Korean boxer, Han, at a score of 5-4. That makes it a total of 9-7. So the Korean boxer has been able to do enough in the first 2 rounds to escape with a point. So that gives him a 2-point lead going into this one. If you think he was cautious in the first 2 rounds, I'd imagine that level of caution would only increase as this round proceeds. He only needs to win by a point. Win by a, what do they say, win by an inch and win by a mile. It's all the same, 1 point or 10. The victory is the victory, and a sneaky right hand by Han as Liu is turned. He gets out of harm's way and he stands in front of his man. So now we are almost at the halfway point of round number 3 here in the Heydar Aliyev Sports Complex in Baku, Azerbaijan. It's been a wonderful, wonderful week of boxing, and there's so much more to come. We are halfway through, or rather 3/4 of the way through now, the men's lightweight division. We've got 2 more bouts in this weight class, and then we get to move on to the super heavyweights, the 91+ kilograms, where we have lots of exciting boxing coming your way. Here in the ring, we see some more roughhousing tactics by Han and Liu, trying to gain the edge. We'd really like to point out that tomorrow we get to the quarterfinals, and that's going to be another full day of boxing. We'll take a break on Thursday, and then Friday we come back for the semifinals, and then ultimately Saturday we get to the finals, and that's going to be a wonderful day of boxing. We expect to have a capacity crowd here in the arena, over 6,000, 7,000 strong, screaming for their boxers, their fellow countrymen in some instances, as the Azerbaijani team has seen some success here in the tournament thus far, and their countrymen and their fans have shown that they're going to come out in full support. We expect to see that continue, that continuing trend as the week of boxing continues. So as we wrap up the 3rd round of this bout between China and Korea, again we remind you, Korea came into this round with a 2-point advantage, and we will see if they're going to come out with that same advantage. We're going to go to the scorecards right now, and we will be right back to check it out. We're about to get the conclusion, the decision. The scores are being tallied. And the winner is the red corner, Korea, by a score of 16-9. Congratulations to Han Soon, the winner. He's going off to London and to the quarterfinals tomorrow. We are going to be right back after this replay to see the entrance, ring entrance of the following bout.
Judge number 5, Vietnam. Going to number 481, men's light 60 kilogram. Red corner, Joyce, Islands. Blue corner, Bhagwan, India.
Referee, New Zealand. Judge number 1, Arjaoui. Judge number 2, Sweden. Judge number 3, India. Judge number 4, Domenico. Judge number 5, Ecuador. The board number 465, means 452 kilograms.
Jones Kennedy, the referee for this bout. Yakub, Germain, Larado, Matfua, and Bhagwan, the judges. This bout between David Oliver Joyce of Ireland, the red corner, and Jai Bhagwan from India out of the blue corner. David Joyce was at the 2007 AIBA World Championships in Chicago. Lost to Davy Sousa of Brazil in the first round. He was in Milan at the 2009 AIBA World Championships, where he lost to Oscar Valdez in the second round. And he was the Irish National Championship silver medalist in 2011, earlier this year. He's also in the World Series of Boxing, AIBA's new professional league, or semi-professional league. So David Oliver Joyce, a man around town. And again, we have Joyce from Ireland in the red corner and Bhagwan from India in the blue corner. Joyce giving up a slight height advantage to Bhagwan. Will that prove to be vital to him, or will the Irishman be able to fight his way in and get to the body of the taller, leaner Jai Bhagwan? Bhagwan looking to stay on the outside, at least so it seems, in the opening moments of this bout. Now we see some more locking up of the arms, and Bhagwan doing some work, some good work from the outside, ripping a left and then a right upstairs. Nice, a double left hook down to the body. However, that looked a little low, and the referee is going to issue a caution to Bhagwan to keep those punches up. And Joyce is just going to stand there with his hands up and look for his opportunity, and there he starts to throw finally. And they wrestle in the center of the ring, and this height advantage looks like it's going to become problematic for both boxers because of where the punches are coming from and where they're landing. Nice sharp left gets inside. A sharp left inside by Joyce lands, but at the same time he's counterpunched and goes down. So a standing 8 count to David Joyce. And right out of the gate, Bhagwan starting with a double jab, then another double jab, then a right to the belly and a left hook followed up by that. So clearly Bhagwan is willing to throw his hands and throw them well. He looks like he's got a game plan, and it looks like a good one. That would be to stand on the outside, use that jab effectively, followed up with a right hand when he can. When he gets grabbed inside like that, to clinch and minimize the damage that Joyce could do, and then to go back on the outside and keep working. A strategy like that is sure to make this an easier evening for him. Joyce, on the other hand, is going to need to get inside those long arms and land some leather, some heavy punches. He's going to have to break Bhagwan's will and break him down round by round, hopefully getting close enough to land some good body shots. The way that Bhagwan is fighting with his hands down is not a good sign. It could be a sign of being tired. It could be a sign of being lazy. It could be simply a sign of non-adherence to fundamentals. Whatever it's a sign of, it's a good sign for David Joyce. Joyce just needs to capitalize on that and be able to get some punches landing around the midsection or higher, the sternum, the face of Jai Bhagwan, so that he could really start to rack up some points. I think he's going to need it since I imagine after what we've seen here in the first round that he may be down a few. And there it is, 13-8. So he's already finding himself in a ditch he'll need to dig himself out of, is David Joyce here in round number 1. Both boxers going to get some instructions from their corner here as they get out of their seats and their stools rather, and off to the races for round number 2. David Joyce from Ireland and Bhagwan from India. Bhagwan comes into the second round with a 13-8 lead. It's a pretty strong lead, 5 points for just one round, and it looks like he's continuing that trend. Chopping overhand right by Joyce, by Bhagwan, excuse me. Joyce doing a decent job keeping his hands up. Otherwise, there'd be a lot more points in Bhagwan's bag. But he does have a decent defense. It's just that he's standing there somewhat not mobile. Almost like a heavy bag where Joyce gets to pick and choose his shots because Bhagwan gets to pick and choose his shots because Joyce is not doing too much upper body movement. That's a nice onslaught of punches right there. But again, Joyce is going to need to show more body movement, show more head movement, make himself a moving target. Not so easy for Bhagwan to hit because otherwise Bhagwan will pick him off all day from the outside, and that would be the right strategy to employ. Look how Bhagwan keeps his distance. He doesn't need to let Joyce inside. He's more than content to stand on the outside, use those long arms, and pick off Joyce wherever he chooses. So again, Joyce is going to be well served to keep his hands up high, to keep his feet underneath him as he moves in, start showing some body and head movement, come in with some angles, and start getting to the body of Bhagwan, break him down, punch by punch, one at a time. Easier said than done, but it would be an advisable strategy for the youngster from Ireland. And now the referee's going to caution the Irish boxer for hitting on the side of the head during the break. No hitting on the break is a general rule. However, there are times where it seems to go unnoticed or otherwise non-cautioned by the referees. So now Bhagwan and Joyce lock up again in the center. And as Bhagwan starts to retreat some more and circle away, the referee is going to caution them and let the boxing resume. Left hand by Joyce, and there's just a lot of roughhousing now in the center of the ring. Again, we are at the 2011 AIBA World Boxing Championships. This is the first qualifying event for the 2012 Summer Olympic Games in London. And David Joyce and Bhagwan are doing their battle in the center of the ring here. This is a lightweight contest. We've been boxing for a number of days here in the Heydar Aliyev Sports Complex in Baku, Azerbaijan, named after the founding father of this great nation, Heydar Aliyev. He's been long associated with this country's fine honor and tradition. His son now, the president of the country. And we thank the Azerbaijani organizers of this event, the Boxing Federation, AIBA, the International Amateur Boxing Association, for putting on this wonderful show. As you can see, some action there from round number 2. And the long-armed Bhagwan doing just enough. However, the Irishman, David Oliver Joyce, has closed the gap significantly in round 2, and it's now just a 2-point margin. So 20-18, the Indian boxer over the Irish boxer. That's a much better predicament than Joyce could have otherwise found himself in this round. There's a nice right hand by Bhagwan. Joyce rips a left to the body and a right, and now Joyce is really starting to apply the pressure. He's going to start charging his man, walking him down if he can. Joyce continuing to plunge forward. Bhagwan, as has been the case for much of this bout, trying to keep it on the outside. The referee going to issue a caution to Bhagwan, and Bhagwan again is going to lock up as Joyce wants no part of that, shoves him off with authority, and now the referee going to issue a caution again to Joyce for pushing on the break, or rather pushing to cause the break, it would seem. And now a headlock being applied by Joyce as Bhagwan is a willing partner in that dance. Breather for everyone, and now they're going to give a warning to Bhagwan, which is interesting because he was the one in the headlock. However, that's the 2 points that David Oliver Joyce needed from that warning to make this a close match. I would imagine it's tied right now, thanks to that warning. And David Oliver Joyce enjoying the munificence of the referee right here. Now the referee going to issue a caution to Joyce for pushing off the break. Right hand by Joyce. Another right hand by Joyce. Bhagwan throws a body shot, and all of a sudden a left hand by Oliver landed square on the chin of Bhagwan. Oliver Joyce, that is, and that one looked like it had its effect, but now the referee's going to issue a warning to David Oliver Joyce, thereby once again taking away the very benefit he just enjoyed when Bhagwan got the warning. So, a minute and a half down, this is anyone's bout, with the action being the way it has been, and with the warnings each being applied to the boxers, one for each in this third round. This is anyone's match right here. They equaled each other out, those warnings did, and now the referee is going to issue a caution to Bhagwan. This time the referee is going to send Joyce to the corner, and he's going to take another point from Bhagwan. So this is another warning, another 2 points in the pocket of David Joyce, thereby taking back that advantage. Once again, that's 4 points added to his score. And now the referee is going to issue a caution to Bhagwan for turning his body around. Bhagwan on the canvas from some roughhousing, and it's very nice to see these boxers giving it their all. It's the end of the third round, and each of these guys is trying to get to London. They're each trying to get to the quarterfinals tomorrow. It's late in the night. These boxers have been keeping their energy up all day for this draw that they received. And now, as we come to the waning moments, we see some more clinching. And again, it seems like Joyce gets the better of the clinches just because he's a little rougher, it seems, on the inside. You see how he's using his elbows and he's wrapping up the arms of Bhagwan, whereas when Bhagwan gets in the clinch, his arms flail a little bit and he seems more like the victim, and that would only serve the purpose of Joyce, because he is the guy that needs to be inside anyhow, so he may as well be more aggressive when he's there. 10 seconds left. Both boxers swinging for the fences now. The crowd getting a little loud. You hear the anticipation, the excitement. Heavyweights right around the corner. Now the referee's going to separate. He's going to give another point with just 4 seconds left. This time a warning back to Joyce. Puts 2 more points back in the pocket of Bhagwan. So after each boxer having received 2 warnings in the 3rd round, it is really going to be an interesting one. It's hard to have called from this vantage point because one would almost need a calculator to deal with all those warnings. Not quite, but almost. At the end of the day, they sort of negate each other. 2 for each, they certainly negate each other. However, when you add them to the punches that were thrown before and after, one would need to keep track of what the running score was. Ultimately, we're going to get that score in just a moment. So referee getting ready to announce the victor. Who's going to go on to the quarterfinals tomorrow? Who's going to go on to London? And who's going to go home? These are big questions, folks. Big questions that deserve big answers. And we're going to get one of them right now. Actually, we're going to get all of those questions answered right now. As the referee takes both boxers' hands in the center of the ring. The Irish boxer looking a little malcontent. And it goes to the Indian boxer, David Oliver Joyce, 32-30. So look at that. If David Oliver Joyce had not have gotten that warning in the end, this would have been a draw and then would have reverted to who had received the highest overall punch count scoring. But that didn't happen with just 4 seconds left. Joyce gave that away and gave the fight basically to Bhagwan. So it's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Can't control all the factors that take place in a fight, certainly not those. And we simply now move on to the final bout here in the lightweight draw. Gani Zalov, 26, from Kazakhstan. Out of the red corner, he'll be boxing Javklan Bariati out of Mongolia in the blue corner. He's 21 years old, as you can see there in the graphics. All right, so Tadek, Pizarro, Asanu, Gallagher are some of the judges here in this contest. Referee Zook's gonna check both boxers' gloves, check the headgear, make sure everything is securely fastened. Like a good referee that she is, you'd make sure that the gum shields are in both the boxers' mouths, and she's gonna bring them to the center, and action shall resume here. Or rather, it shall begin. Zailuov from Kazakhstan. He was in Milan at the AIBA World Championships in '09. Placed 3rd last year in the Kazakh National Championships, 1st this year. He also placed 1st this year in the Great Silkweight Tournament right here in Baku. Bariati from Mongolia. Well, he took 1st place at the, let me backtrack a moment. In 2007, he won, or rather, he participated, my apologies, in the AIBA World Cadet Championships right here in Baku. Then in '08, he took 1st place in the Mongolian Youth National Championships. And again in 2010 and 11. In '09, he also participated in the AIBA World Championships in Milan. So this is not his first rodeo, as they say. And Zaluev for Kazakhstan in the red corner, as you can see. Kazakhstan plastered across the back of his jersey. Bariati from Mongolia also across the back of his blue jersey, signifying the blue corner that he is boxing out of. Zaluev in the red, Bariati in the blue. And let's see if we can't get some high-level excitement that we've been wanting to see throughout this tournament. The Mongolians generally bring a good team, and we know that the Kazakhstani boxers are always well prepared. So in the first round, there's been a little bit of a feeling out stage as Zaluev from Kazakhstan looking for a way to penetrate that high guard of the Mongolian Bariati. Bariati boxing in the southpaw stance. Zaluev in the conventional style, the orthodox stance. And as Bariati follows Zaluev around the ring, Zaluev is going to stand his ground and use that jab. He's a tall, lean boxer. Left hand by Bariati, scores to the chin. And now Zaluev pushes Bariati off. Again, we are here at the Heydar Aliyev Sports Complex in Baku, Azerbaijan. And that's the end of round number one. Action resuming here, round number two. Bariati in the blue corner, Zaluev in the red corner. First round with a score of 7-3 win to the Kazakhstani boxer. So he's up by 4. Going into the second round. The Kazakhstani boxer pushes his man off. Again, he's the taller boxer. He should be able to use those physical, tactical advantages to continue to maintain this lead by using that jab. We've been saying it all night, we've been saying it all day, and we've been saying it all tournament, and we will continue to say it. The jab will find you victory when nothing else will. It'll get you out of harm's way. It'll create opportunities. Zaluev would be well served to use that jab. Again, these are boxers at the world-class level. They must know by now the importance of the jab. Instead, what we're seeing is these one-punch aggressive measures where they keep their hands up, try and get close enough to each other, use their feet to get in, and then let off one punch when they see the opportunity, usually a right hand. There's no reason why they shouldn't be jabbing at all times. Jabbing on the break, jabbing on the advance, jabbing on the retreat, doubling up, tripling up. it's really quite an easy punch to throw once you commit yourself mentally to throwing it at all times, except for when you're throwing something else. These kids are top world-class athletes in the best physical form you could ask of them, the majority of them. So stamina should not be a problem. They shouldn't be tiring. There's really no excuse for it, the lack of the jab. But be that as it may, these kids, and they are kids, most of them, some of them in their teens, majority of them in their early 20s, some of them in their mid-20s or later. We'll call them kids. They are going to learn this one way or the other if they are going to succeed ultimately as boxers, and many of them have already reached well beyond measures of success at the amateur rank, so there's no questioning that. But continued success throughout the amateurs, throughout this world level of competition and beyond, there's no escaping the jab. And that's the end of round 2, and that goes to a 13-10 margin, so the Mongolian has brought it back a little bit. He's erased a point off his deficit. He's now down by 3. Will he be able to do enough to tie this in round 3? Let's take a brief look at the action from round number 2. Ardee from Mongolia down by 3. He needs to start to apply more pressure. He needs to get into that danger zone of Zaluayev, and he needs to score points. He's down by 3. Zaluayev could certainly afford to stay on the outside now more than ever. He's only got to keep Ardee off him for 2 more minutes or so. Not in the nature of the Kazakhstani boxer to sit back and wait. They like to box, they like to bring it to their opponents. And Zaluayev seems no different. Let's see what he could do here in the remaining moments of this round. Can he hold on to the lead, and if so, how? Will he box? Will he punch? Will he trade with his opponent? Will he use his feet to stay out of harm's way? Will he circle? Will he advance or retreat? These are all questions we are going to see. The referee is going to issue a caution, and boxing resumes. Mongolian is trying to reach out to the Kazakhstani boxer from too far of a distance. He needs to close that gap. He's not the one up on points. He's the one down on points. He cannot wait, or he'll be waiting a long time. And he doesn't have that much time. He's got 1 minute. He needs to stay on top of his opponent, and he needs to press the action. Nice right-left combination by Zaluayev. And here comes Ardee plowing through into the corner. Some nice upper body movement now being seen by Zaluayev. Gani Zaluayev and Javklan Ardee doing battle, waging war here at the 2011 AIBA World Boxing Championships in Baku, Azerbaijan. This is the final men's lightweight bout in this round of 16 tournament, rather round of 16 day of action. After this, we're going to move on to the men's super heavyweights at 91 plus kilograms, and we will really get to see how the big boys lay the leather. A lot of people really enjoy the bigger boxers because of the power that they naturally bring into the ring with them. And we're right around the corner. Right after this bout, we will be on our first. And that is the halfway point right now. 8 bouts down, 8 to go. We are going to get a decision on this one very soon. As the scores get tallied up by the computer and passed along to the referee, we are going to get the decision, and it is in the red corner, Kazakhstan, with a 19-15 margin. So congratulations to Gaibnazarov from Kazakhstan. You represented your country well. You're going to the London Olympics, and you're also going on to action tomorrow in the semifinal, the quarterfinals of the 2011 World Boxing Championships. With that said, stay tuned as we await the ring entrance for the super heavyweights.
183, main super heavy, plus 91 kilogram, red corner, Cammarelle Roberto, Italy, blue corner, Sheehan, Ireland.
Red corner, Conceicao, Hungary. Blue corner, Stankovic, USA.
Roberto Cammarelle, highly decorated Italian super heavyweight boxer. In 2005, he was at the AIBA World Championships in China, took 3rd place. In 2007, in Chicago, he took 1st place. And in 2009, also at the AIBA World Championships in Milan, he took 1st place. He also took 1st place to gold at the 2008 Summer Olympic Games in Beijing. So enough said about the resume of Roberto Cammarelle. Cornelius Sheehan from Ireland, only 22. Participated in the 2009 AIBA World Championships in Milan as well. He took 1st place at the Irish National Championships this year. And that's what brings these two boxers head to head. Cammarelle in the red corner, Sheehan in the blue. The big boys. Cammarelle keeps his hands up well, shows some good body movement. Sheehan with a wild left hand. Cammarelle doesn't mind staying in the pocket, as you could see. He's got big, broad shoulders, and he could certainly pack a wallop. He's beaten the best in the world and is considered by many himself the best in the world. Now Cammarelle not showing too much body movement there. Seems very confident to stay there and just trade with Sheehan. The question is, will Sheehan do that as well? Cammarelle boxing in the southpaw stance. Sheehan orthodox. Again, as we've said, that can create some stylistic snafus, particularly with the two lead feet of the opponents stepping on one another, but there's a nice strong right hand by Cammarelle, slips it through the guard of Sheehan. A left to the body by Cammarelle. Sheehan looking like he's got a little more energy in there. Somewhat lethargic looking as Cammarelle. However, we know his style is effective. At 31 years old, the question is, will he ever slow down beyond his rate? And the answer must be yes, but he seems fairly unbeatable for the most part, although he has been beaten. They say, the old Whitey Bimstein once said, show me a boxer with an undefeated record and I'll show you a boxer that hasn't fought anyone worthwhile. So Cammarelle no different. He has been beaten, however, not often. Sheehan, a youngster, which were just 22 years old, not nearly the level of experience and pedigree of Cammarelle. Showing a lot of poise so far, standing in there with the big man. Willing to push his own weight around. And as we see Cammarelle looking calm, cool, collected. Leads forward with a right hand jab, a feint, and Sheehan doesn't fall for it. He stands right there in the pocket, and now Cammarelle starts to apply the pressure. He's in there. He had an opportunity where he had Sheehan up against the ropes, but he didn't capitalize on it, and that's the end of round number 1. So Cammarelle, you could see in the replay here, in the last round, Sheehan tries to get inside. Cammarelle throws a right and a left, both which miss. Sheehan does a good job staying out of harm's way on that. A left to the body by Cammarelle. And there's a left by Sheehan, and he stays. You know, it looks like Sheehan's best served by staying on the chest of Cammarelle. In this instance, Cammarelle doesn't seem to like to be crowded. Cammarelle has a 6-3 lead going into the second round. However, that's nothing insurmountable for Cornelius Sheehan. Particularly, I think his chances are greatest when he tries to smother Cammarelle and stay to his chest. If Cammarelle continues to set the pace, Sheehan's going to find himself, I think, on the receiving end of a superior ring general. If, however, Sheehan could crowd Cammarelle and not be concerned about what Cammarelle's bringing, he may be able to fluster the big man. And you could see the toes being stepped on by Sheehan, or rather the toes of Sheehan being stepped on, usually right there as well, by Cammarelle, as they try and make their way through this delicate dance. Left hook by Sheehan, falls short, and here comes Sheehan with a right to the body. Cammarelle staying in the pocket, keeping his hands at a medium level, not that high, which may provide an opportunity for Sheehan to catch him off guard if he could throw some more punches. But Sheehan seems a little intimidated, perhaps by the moment, perhaps by his opponent, but he's not really throwing that many punches, although he has no trouble pushing Cammarelle off of him to show that maybe he's not intimidated, but he really ought to throw more punches. He must be concerned about the counterpunching technique of Roberto Cammarelle. To Cammarelle's credit, he's got very good reflexes for a big man. That's what allows him to stay in the pocket like that with his hands low and not be too concerned about getting hit. He does a good job slipping a lot of his opponent's punches, and that is an extremely valuable asset for any boxer, particularly the big men. Of course, it's also harder to throw a punch when your hands are down there. When they're up a little higher, it would be a shorter distance for them to travel, at least to the opponent's head, which is primarily Cammarelle's target zone. He doesn't seem to throw too many body shots. He is going for the head primarily, so if his hands are up higher, he's got a shorter distance to throw straight punches. Now Cammarelle's going to have his chin guard, or rather his headgear, is that going to be replaced, or are they just going to adjust the chin strap? And Cammarelle makes his way back into the ring. Two gladiators here. Cammarelle bobbing and weaving a little bit, showing some upper body movement. Chops are right to the head of Sheehan. That's to his left temple, and Sheehan, for the most part, holding his ground. He's got his hands up high. He's showing the defense. If he could just let his hands go a little more, he may be able to dent this deficit that he's got, that he had coming into this round. There's some nice work by Sheehan, starting to let his hands go a little bit. Cammarelle almost emotionless as he plies his trade there in the center of the ring. And now it's a 15-8 margin for the Italian. So he's up 7 points. You see here the work he's doing down to the body as he's got Sheehan up against the ropes. Here's where the chin strap starts to rise above, get in the way a little bit. And he's just throwing those punches there. He's getting them inside the guard and around the guard as well, both inside and outside of Sheehan. And as a result, Sheehan finds himself down 7 points in this bout. So what shall be the case for Cornelius Sheehan? Boxes out of Clonmel Boxing Club. Cammarelle from Cinisello Balsamo, 191 centimeters, 102 kilograms. Here comes Cammarelle. Looks like he's going to start to let his hands go a little bit more, and Sheehan as well. Sheehan has no choice in the matter. He needs to. And look at the way Cammarelle comes in. His hands are so low. You almost wonder if Sheehan's crazy for not going for it. Perhaps that's exactly Cammarelle's point. He's trying to leave his hands low so that he could literally beg or convince Sheehan to throw punches just so he could snap him with the counter punch, because we know he's got good reflexes. He maybe wants that punch to come in. He could duck it or counter punch it and then come back and take advantage of Sheehan, but Sheehan's just not falling for it, much to his detriment, because if he's not going to throw punches when Cammarelle's hands are down, then he's not going to throw punches ever. Certainly doesn't make sense to throw them when they're up. So now Sheehan is going to go back to his neutral corner. Looks like there's a little blood on the nose, perhaps a lot of blood on the nose of Sheehan. Those heavy hands of Cammarelle finally taking their toll on the face of Cornelius Sheehan. And he's got blood coming out of his mouth, perhaps a split lip there. Cammarelle sees the blood. He's seen it before. He's going to continue to target that area. Although Sheehan doesn't seem to be bothered by it. Almost didn't even notice, or it didn't seem like he noticed. And Cammarelle again just methodically going to work his way in there. Cammarelle with a double right hook over the left guard of Sheehan, scored to the left temple, and now the referee is going to get Sheehan back to the corner again. Perhaps even get the doctor to take a look at the nose. And yes, you got some very qualified AIBA medical staff on hand, and maybe nothing more than a bloody nose. However, the doc's not going to take any chances. He wants to take a closer look with the flashlight and make sure that there's no more serious damage. This will be very interesting to see if the doc's going to let him continue. Could it be a broken nose? Could it be worse? Is it just a simple bloody nose? And they're going to let him continue, so Cornelius Sheehan gets a third chance at this, and that's it. The Irish corner says, well, you know what? If the doc's not going to stop it, we're going to stop it. Sheehan didn't want it to end. Cammarelle picked up the towel, handed it back to the Irish corner, and Roberto Cammarelle, just like that, secures himself another spot, this time in the London Olympics next summer, as well as continuing on tomorrow to the semifinals. So congratulations to Roberto Cammarelle on another well-earned victory, and Cornelius Sheehan, congratulations on showing some good fighting spirit, some good heart, determination. Nothing to be ashamed of, kid. You fought your heart out. You did what you could. You didn't wilter. You didn't falter. The fight was stopped not by your choice, and you'll be back. We know you will. And Roberto Cammarelle with some congratulatory words to the other side and a nod to the referee, and out he goes. Could see some action right here from the last round.
Referee, Kazakhstan. Judge number 1, Argentina. Judge number 2,
Cammarelle just staying right in the pocket.
Judge number 3, Uzbekistan. Judge number 4, Korea. Judge number 5, Vietnam.
The winning is Uzbekistan, Spencer, USA.
Just like that, the first super heavyweight bout is down. And now making his way, Mohamed Arjaoui, super heavyweight, also a member of the Istanbuls, the WSB franchise. His opponent from England is big Anthony Joshua, 22 years old, a super heavyweight. Guy's built like a rock, truly. Anthony Joshua. Let's take a quick look at the referee for this bout. Is Rizbayev from Uzbekistan. The judges, Pogi, Kennedy, Juman, Yazov, Siagwan, and Vuang. And Mohamed Arjaoui from Morocco. He's had some decent success. Let's start with the 2008 Summer Olympic Games in Beijing, where he took 7th place. He lost to Dante Wilder, who ultimately, as we know, went on to get the only medal for the Americans that year. That was a bronze, now turned pro, and doing quite good at that with an impressive record already. 2009, Arjaoui was in the AIBA World Championships in Milan, where he placed 6th. He's also a member, as you just noted, of the World Series of Boxing, AIBA's answer to the question of semi-pro, pro-am boxing. The new league is from Casablanca, and he boxes for Municipal Mohammedia Club in Morocco. Anthony Joshua, perhaps slightly less decorated, but nonetheless impressive, a 2000 English national champion, 1st place. Also 7th place in the 2011 European Championships in Ankara. So let's see if Anthony Joshua, a relative unknown on the world scene, can come in here and upset already a well-seasoned world veteran in Mohamed Arjaoui. Arjaoui in the red corner from Morocco, Joshua in the blue corner for England. This is Castle Chalice giving you the commentary from ringside here at the Haydar Aliyev Sports Complex in Baku, Azerbaijan. Arjaoui, hands up high. Looks a little bit unsteady there, a little off balance, but he comes through with a whipping right hand. Anthony Joshua, though, looks ready to stand his ground. Again, he's really built solid. Question is, does he know how to use that power and use that strength that he no doubt has in an effective boxing manner? Strength and power are nothing if they're not applied properly, especially in the boxing ring. A little baby uppercut by Joshua, and now Joshua starts to let his hands go a little more. Perhaps he came off to a slow start. Perhaps he's a little intimidated by the moment. He's a young kid. However, I think he's only going to start to loosen up and look better as each passing second clicks away. Off to a somewhat slow start. Joshua being patiently cautious, or shall I say cautiously patient. A wild left hand by Arjaoui, and the referee's going to caution him to keep his hands down, and you're going to hear that from the crowd. They're not happy with that one. And a big left-right combination by Arjaoui, full short, and Joshua now locking horns with the big man. These are two big boys in there, 91 plus kilograms each. Left hand by Joshua and a chopping right and a wild uppercut from down in the trenches. A right hand by Arjaoui misses its mark, and back comes Joshua. So there's an interesting ebb and flow to the action here. Joshua seems to be the more active aggressor. He's definitely been pushing the action, I'd say, for the most of this round. And as he continues to bring it, Arjaoui seems to be going into somewhat of a shell. Maybe he's felt some of the power of Joshua already, and maybe he doesn't want it. But like a cat with his back against the wall, he's not going to go down without a fight. And you can see these wily punches by Arjaoui. They look a little wild. They're certainly not straight, but I'm sure they're effective when they connect. And here comes Joshua pushing Arjaoui back up to the rope. So that's an interesting way for the first round to end. And we see the English boxer up 8-4. Not bad at all for his first time on a stage this big against a former Olympian. See some action here from the last round, and pretty impressive stuff. Here comes Joshua again. Got a very nice stance. Seems to combine the best of the Eastern European style with the American style. He stands upright like the Eastern Europeans do, but not too upright. Actually seems to favor more the American style. He's in a slight crouch. He's a big heavyweight. He's well proportioned. And he seems to have the confidence that a youngster normally wouldn't have at that age, but again, at this level, there's no reason to doubt his confidence, to question it. Seems to be in better shape than his opponent, Arjaoui. Let's see if he could punch with some real mustard. If his punches pack a wallop, we haven't really seen any clean shots land. However, Arjaoui seems to be keeping his distance. He may have felt something that we haven't quite ascertained yet. Those little jabs could really start to take their toll, even if they are partially blocked, if Arjaoui has felt the power already of Anthony Joshua. Joshua with a chopping right hand, another one. Now he's staying on Arjaoui. Arjaoui does well to tie him up. And a left hand, a ripping shot to the belly by Joshua. Smart. And now Joshua at the center of the ring. What I like about Joshua particularly is he seems very well balanced and very composed in there. Again, he's got a very good boxing stance. He's well proportioned, well balanced. He throws very fundamentally sound punches, straight punches. I'd like to see him use the jab more. He seems pretty fast, pretty light on his feet. He gets his punches out there and he gets his hands back just as quick. All the things we like to see in a boxer. I would just like to see him use that jab more, set up the big right hand. Let's see if the big Arjaoui can handle the pressure when it's applied properly, like that. Keep on him. Do that again, Joshua. Throw that left and then follow up with the right. Do that 2 times, do that 3 times. There you go. That sort of activity is going to really test the will of Arjaoui and let us see if Joshua could really finish his man. he could be a surprise breakout star here at the 2011 World Championships if he can not only get past Arjaoui and ultimately earn himself an Olympic berth, but if he could do it in style, if he could not only win, but win with pizzazz, if he could stop his opponents before the final bell tolls, well, we may have ourselves a new star on the horizon in England. Certainly a star in the making. And that's the end of round number 2. And the Englishman maintains his lead. He's up 12-6. And this is a very impressive showing. I must say, it would seem like this is Anthony Joshua's fight to lose. And there's no reason why he'd want to do that. Look at the work up on the ropes. He just isn't throwing enough punches. Don't get me wrong, he's winning. He's certainly doing fine. I would like to see him stop this man. I think he has the skill set to do so. I don't think he can do it at this rate. I think he needs to throw more punches. I think he needs to throw more punches from a variety of angles. I think he needs to throw more combinations, and he needs to stay on his man like a wet blanket and put him out early. That would be a very impressive showing by Anthony Joshua, and I think he's got it in him. Very relaxed in there. Again, the score is at least a 6-point, what do we say, a 6-point margin. 12-6. That's right, 12-6 it is. So that's a 6-point margin. And if Joshua can continue to do what he's been doing, he should have no problem winning this one on points. To Arjaoui's credit, he's staying in there against what is seemingly a stronger, faster, bigger, and younger opponent, perhaps a hungrier opponent. And you can't discount the fact that he is an Olympian. He's been to this dance before, the World Championships. He's boxing semi-pro in the World Series of Boxing. He's got to have learned a few things in his travels, things that perhaps could be helpful for him to try and regain some confidence here in this final round. Just don't know if he's going to have the stamina to do so. Looks like he may not have come to this tournament in the best shape of his life. Father Time catches up to us all, though. He's only 24 years old, though, Arjaoui, so no excuses in the age department. Boy, I wish I was 24 years old again. And Joshua standing tall, standing firm in the center of the ring. A big looping right hand by Arjaoui, partially blocked by Joshua. And now there's some wrestling going on, and now Arjaoui he's trying to keep Joshua up on the ropes. Perhaps he could have gotten some good work done there if he could have cornered him on the ropes, but the referee has now issued a caution to him for pushing. So Joshua letting his hands go now. Some good lateral movement there. Good work to stay out of the way of that big right hand by Arjaoui and come right back with his own. And Arjaoui swinging wildly here. Nice work here. Two big right hands by Joshua. Push Arjaoui back. He doesn't want any more of that, I don't think. And there's another left-right combination by Joshua. So Arjaoui keeping his distance. And Joshua looks like he's telegraphing those punches, just sort of lining them up, trying to pick his shots selectively. Again, he's too young. He looks too good to just be waiting. He ought to be throwing. He ought to try and get his man out of there, but at this point, there's only 8 seconds left. It looks like he'll skate to a fairly easy decision win, Will, Anthony Joshua. He'll make his way to London with this win. He'll also make his way to the quarterfinals tomorrow, and we hope to see a lot more progress by this young Anthony Joshua. He's certainly what seems to be a star in the making if he keeps up that good work effort like we just saw. So congratulations. Perhaps it's premature. We'll wait for the official word, but it looks like at this point it's pretty obvious how this one's going to turn out. The referee's going to check the wraps of both boxers, bring them to the center of the ring where we could get the official decision. And Anthony Joshua takes it by a score of 16-7. He represents his country well. And we'll just take a quick look back here in that third round and watch how Joshua did it methodically, patiently, cautiously, victoriously.
The winner is red corner, Kazakhstan. Referee, Croatia. Judge number 1, Turkmenistan. Judge number 2, Sweden. Judge number 3, Cuba. Judge number 4,
Tony Germain, the referee for this third super heavyweight attraction. Martinez, Brahms, Zux, Castro, and Pizarro are the judges.
The world number 469 men's welter, 69 kilograms.
So we've got Roman Kapetenko from the Ukraine and Eric Pfeifer from Germany. Let's take a quick look at the resumes. Kapetenko, 2008 AIBA World Cup in Moscow, placed 6th. At the Milan World Championships in 09, he placed 2nd with a loss to the aforeviewed Rebel 5 in the final. And in 09 at the AIBA President's Cup right here in Baku, Azerbaijan, he placed 1st. Took the bronze at the 2010 European Championships in Moscow. And 1st place at the Ukrainian National Championships earlier this year. So Roman Kapetenko, clearly a force to be reckoned with. On the blue side, Eric Pfeifer from Germany, also with some decent experience. 09 at the AIBA World Championships in Milan, he lost to Zhang from China, 12-8 in the second preliminary round. Also in 09, the German National Championships, he grabbed 1st, and in 2010, the German National Championships, he placed 1st. So Kapetenko, the red corner from Ukraine, Pfeifer, the blue corner from Germany. Kapetenko, you notice right away he's got a very high guard, very good, and as a result, Pfeifer has no trouble going downstairs where he sees more open, vast land, real estate for which he could stake a claim to. A wild left uppercut by Pfeifer, falls short, and so does the second one. Ukrainian boxer, very seasoned. He's seen all sorts of things in the ring. He's seen probably just about everything. Probably not much Pfeifer could show him that he hasn't already seen. The question is, what does he do with that? Does Kapitanenko come out early? Does he start to rack up points? Does he give Pfeifer an opportunity to draw first blood and then come back in a counterpunching style? We're going to get these questions answered and others. As Pfeifer circles to his right, both boxers in the orthodox stance. A left hand by Pfeifer falls short, and here comes Kapitanenko, hands up high. He's going to push the action. As you can see, he's going to try and use his superior size and likely his superior strength on Pfeifer and try and bully him around the ring a little bit, soften him up maybe before he starts to let his hands go. Get him to drop his guard just a bit. See if Pfeifer falls for that. Pfeifer trying to penetrate that high guard so far with ill effect. Nice short right hand by Kapitanenko, and sensing an opportunity followed it up with another, but Pfeifer is able to quell that a little bit, regain his composure, and there he sticks a left jab in there, and back comes Kapitanenko. So there's some good action here in the first round. The two big boys trading blows in the center of the ring, each of them willing to trade, it seems, and the mouthpiece comes out for Pfeifer. Referee's going to get him into the corner, get that rinsed out, and be replaced rather quickly. Shouldn't take but more than a second, and there it is. He's back, Pfeifer is, and action is going to resume right here in the center of the ring. Referee going to make sure that both of them, or at least caution Pfeifer to keep that mouthpiece in, to clamp down so that that doesn't happen again. That starts to happen on a more regular basis, and the referee is going to start to issue a warning. Or more, perhaps two. Ultimately, a boxer could be disqualified for repeated warnings. And Kapitanenko now continuing to bull rush his man. Looks like he's going to try and get closer and closer and then really let his hands go, as opposed to letting him go from the outside. It seems like he wants to wait till he's in close enough range where he feels more sure of his connect ratio, perhaps. Not a bad idea. Take a look at the action from the first round. Just a little blood inside the nose of Eric Pfeifer. The Q-tip reveals, and it's just a 1-point round so far for the Ukrainian. So this is anyone's bout here as we go into the second round. And now Pfeifer seems to be able to land a shot that sends Kapitanenko back just a little bit and gets him a standing 8. So who knows? Maybe Pfeiffer's got some plan here. Maybe his corner told him something in the second. They didn't like what they were seeing, perhaps what we saw, which was Kapitanenko slowly starting to make his way into the inner circle of Pfeiffer's defense. And as a result, Pfeifer may have changed up his style a little bit, decided to not let Kapitanenko get that close and to push him off like that every time he felt he was getting too close, infringing on his personal space. And now a chopping right hand by Kapitanenko, so Pfeifer is going to need to be on the lookout for those chopping rights as he starts to push his way through, because he's making himself more available to Kapitanenko when he engages in that sort of pushing contest. And Kapitanenko, a wily enough veteran here in the amateur ranks, 30 years old. He's been around the amateur block once or twice, and he knows when he senses an opportunity he needs to capitalize on it. And that may very well be it. There's that sneaky right hand again, those chopping rights to the side of the head, the left temple of Pfeifer, every time he gets the opportunity. Referee going to issue a caution to Kapitanenko. A right to the body, a ripping right to the body by Kapitanenko. And here comes Pfeifer. There's a minute left in round number 2. And here comes Kapitanenko firing off lefts and rights to the body. He brings him back upstairs. Pfeifer comes back with a right of his own, and now Kapitanenko comes back. So things are starting to heat up here in the end of the second round. The Ukrainians' corner looking on intently, urging their man to move forward, to throw more punches. Does he have the gas in the tank to do it? A sneaky left hand by Kapitanenko. That's what we were talking about with those wily veteran skills. Pfeifer has not been up at the level of competition that Roman Kapitanenko has. Right hand by Pfeifer to end the round. So that gives it back to the German with a 14-10 lead. So look at that. Whatever the Germans' corner told him between rounds 1 and 2, it worked. We saw a marked difference in his approach. He stopped letting the Ukrainian make his way in. He started to push his own weight around. He got more punches off. He flustered the Ukrainian, and he took himself a 4-point lead in the process. 14-10, Eric Pfeifer from Germany over Roman Kapitanenko from the Ukraine. This is the AIBA World Boxing Championships here in Baku, Azerbaijan. You are watching from the Haydar Aliyev Sports Complex. This is the men's super heavyweight division. There's your score, 5-4 in the first round for Kapitanenko, 10-5 for Pfeifer in the second, 14-10 Pfeifer. Here's the third and final round now. Now they're tied up in the center of the ring, and right hand by Kapitanenko. He's ripping shots to the body. And the Ukrainian and the German are locking horns here in the center. Big left hand by Kapitanenko. The German looking a little winded here. Perhaps so is the Ukrainian. These are big boys and they're laying heavy leather here. And you could see 2.5 rounds of lots of activity, causing both of them to tire just a bit. The referee is going to issue a caution to the Ukrainian. The Ukrainian needs to come back from this deficit he was in. 4 points down coming into this round. There's a nice big right hand that may have scored him one. There's a left, sails over the head of Pfeifer, and now looks like Kapitanenko is going to be complaining of a low blow. Yep. Referee's calling it a punch to the hip, and he's going to let action resume. Perhaps he felt Kapitanenko was trying to milk that one for a point, perhaps two. That would have been very handy for Kapitanenko to get two if his acting abilities were perhaps a little better, according to the judge or the referee. Just the same. Kapitanenko now has 45 seconds to make his mark on his opponent and ultimately on the judges. The referee is going to separate them, and boxing resumes here in the center. Big right hand by Kapitanenko. There's a nice left hand also. So the Ukrainian doing good work here, trying to fight his way back into this. Is it enough? Pfeifer now, wisely, if he's up on points as he likely believes, then he's wisely gonna sail away for the last 10 seconds. I don't think that the Ukrainian has done enough in this round to take back that 4-point advantage that Pfeifer has enjoyed coming into this round. And Pfeifer, with his hands up in victory, or at least apparent victory in his mind, he gets a kiss from his corner. I guess they believe he did enough. I would tend to agree. He certainly looks happy. Whereas on the other side, Kapitanenko looks a little bit downtrodden. Perhaps he also senses that the outcome is one which may not be in his favor. Either way, these guys are such great sports that win, lose, or draw, just great people to be around. These boxers, boy, the amateurs, the pros. Boxing as a sport produces some of the finest, not only athletes, that goes without saying, but some of the finest young men and women that I've ever met. So just a great group of people to be around, everyone in the sport, from the promotional side and the marketing side and the broadcasting side, boxers and the managers and the training coaches. And they're just a great bunch of people and great fun to be around them here in the beautiful city of Baku, Azerbaijan. Eric Pfeifer gets his victory, 22-14. Congratulations, you're going to London. That's got to make you proud. You deserve it. And you could just see here the action in the last round from Pfeifer. Clearly, whatever his corner told him between rounds 1 and 2 was sufficient enough to make a big difference. As we now get ready for the 4th super heavyweight bout. This will mark the halfway point of the heavyweights upon its completion, the super heavies, excuse me, and ultimately bring things into the home stretch for this evening of boxing. From the United States, out of the red corner, he is Leroy Thompson. And from the blue corner, out of Belarus, he is Viktor Zuyuev. Let's take a brief look here at their resumes. Leroy Thompson, not bad, 2008 national champion, 2009 5th place in the USA Championships, 2010 he took 2nd place in the USA National Golden Gloves and 1st at the USA National Champs qualifiers. He's a member of the World Series of Boxing team, the Los Angeles Matadors. He also boxed in the USA Golden Gloves, the national tournament this year, grabbed 1st place at that, as well as the USA National Championships, where he grabbed 6th place. And to get him to this point, he placed 1st at the USA National Olympic Trials. So he's been boxing since 2005. He's from Uniondale, Long Island, in New York. They call him Cam. He boxes out of Turner Ringside Club, 189 centimeters, 110 kilograms. Looking out of the blue corner, Viktor Zuyuev from Belarus. He was at the 2003 AIBA World Championships in Bangkok, where he placed 3rd. 2004 Summer Olympic Games in Athens, He placed second with a loss to the Cuban great Adlanier Solis. 2005 AIBA World Championships, he lost to Luis Ortiz from Cuba. Moving on, in 2007 AIBA World Championships, he lost to Vitalijus Subasius in Milan, and he was an Olympian in 2008. The Beijing Games, he lost to Clemente Russo from Italy in the preliminary round. 2009 AIBA World Championships in Milan, placed third with a loss to previously seen Roberto Cammarelle. So both of these boxers with a dearth of experience. The edge in international and world experience goes to Viktor Zoyev. However, Lenroy Thompson, a man on a mission. Thompson in the red corner, Zoyev in the blue corner. The referee is going to issue a caution to Thompson. And Zoyev starts to press the action. Both of these boxers are hungry for London. Zoyev would like a return trip to the Olympics. As we said, he's been there twice before, consecutively in 04 in Athens and 08 in Beijing. Lenroy would like to get there for his first time. And who's standing in the way of it right now? A man who wants more. He wants his third visit. And Zoyev lands a big right hand to the head, and down goes Thompson. Looks like the referee is going to consider that a slip. Thompson's going to get to keep going here. Zoyev, strong kid. A whipping right hand by Zoyev. Left to the body, or right to the belly, and a little wrestling tactic, and down goes Thompson. He'll get up quickly, and Zoyev will apologize to the referee, and action resumes. Zoyev clubbing forward here. And now we see Thompson pushing his man back. Zoyev keeping the pressure on though. Thompson looking a little off balance here. Let's see if he can't regain some composure here and try and take the edge. Slipped in a nice right hand there, but back comes Zoyev, pushing him up against the rope. So Zoyev and Thompson doing battle here in the center of the ring. The referee going to issue a caution to Zoyev to keep it, to Thompson to keep his head up. And Thompson's going to throw a right hand, the lead right to the body. Not a bad decision. It landed with effectiveness, but Zoyev, not to be dismayed, is going to continue coming forward. It's going to take more than that to stop the train from Belarus on the fast track. It's been making express stops since 2004. Stopped once in Athens, stopped again 4 years later in Beijing, and it's looking to make its third stop in London in 2012. Thompson throwing some wild right hands, lead right hands that don't do him any good. And you're going to see Coach Joe Zanders, head coach of the USA team, get up on the apron to offer some words of advice to his charge, Lenroy Thompson. Take a look here at the action from the last round, and you'll see Lenroy fighting with his back off the ropes. He starts to circle away, but he gets caught with a big right on the kisser, and down he goes. The referee called that one I believe that's the punch that the referee called a slip, or refused to give a standing 8 to Lenroy, but it looked like it may have actually been the result of a strong punch by Zoyev. That said, it's somewhat immaterial. If the punch landed, it landed, and he would have gotten points for it, regardless of whether or not he got the standing 8. Be that as it may, Lenroy comes into this second round with a 6-4 advantage. The referee calling the coaching staff back for Thompson, most likely to adjust his chin strap, and as he does so, it's his hair it seems needed to be placed back. The referee's going to send Zoyev to the neutral corner. as technically the round had already began. And now Thompson and Zuyev pick up where they left off. 6-4, the American has the advantage, and Zuyev coming back. This would be an extremely impressive victory if Lenroy Thompson could slip through this and get past the difficult and experienced Victor Zuyev, the dangerous Victor Zuyev. He's fought some of the best in the world for many years. Lenroy bends forward as he pushes Zuyev back a little bit. Zuyev takes a right hand cross by Thompson fairly well, and Thompson now swinging for the fences, and Zuyev doing a good job avoiding much of that. And now Zuyev has Thompson up against the ropes, and he's going to start to let his hands go, and let's see how well Thompson could play the possum. The old rope-a-dope, a big right hand by Zuyev lands square on the jaw, and so does another by Thompson, starting to show some signs of life here as he's really racking up some points here. Excuse me, Zuyev. Thompson was the recipient of 2 big right hands by Zuyev. So now the referee's going to let them come back together again, and Thompson may be getting a little tired here. Looks a little bit winded. Halfway through the second round, he's still throwing his punches. They just seem to be more flailing at this point than compact and concise. Zuyev keeping himself well composed. Referee's going to separate them a bit. Right-left combination by Thompson. And Zuyev is still pressing the action, so it's going to be an interesting score at the end of round 2, in my opinion, because it looks like Zuyev has gotten slightly the better of Thompson as through now. And if so, it could be a very exciting third round if the score is very close, as it seems it may be. Thompson eats a right hand as he's looking away. The referee looked like in the process of getting Thompson's attention when Zuyev connected with that right hand on the left side of Thompson's face. A stiff right uppercut, a hook uppercut by Thompson. And now it looks like Thompson's going to get issued a warning. Yes, he will. People in the crowd yelling that it was his head that got pushed down, but still, just the same, the ref is issuing a warning against Thompson. That's not good. For a moment, Thompson heard a bell in the other ring, thought that was for him. Quickly realized it wasn't, and down goes Thompson from some roughhousing in the center of the ring by Zuyev. Plodding left and a right, a chant of USA coming from the crowd. And now they lock up. Rights and lefts by Thompson. Unfortunately, not doing quite enough damage as Zuyev is able to keep Thompson at bay. And with the warning that went in favor of Zuyev, I wonder if indeed Zuyev will have taken the lead going into this third round. We're going to find out any second, and he has. Look at that. It's the very same 2 points that the Belarus boxer was awarded through the warning that gives him now a 2-point advantage. It would have been a tie score. We knew he was coming back anyway, or so we thought. That would have kept it at a tie, but now with the warning, Thompson finds himself down 2 going into the third round. He's going to really have to turn the tide if America is going to be able to send him to London, at least vis-a-vis this tournament. He still may have an opportunity again in the heavyweights and super heavyweights. I believe it's 2 boxers instead of 4 like it is in the lower weight classes. that will get to go, perhaps if they lose to the man that wins. In this case, Thompson may still get a shot of qualifying in this tournament if he loses to Zhuyev, if indeed it's Zhuyev that goes on to win it all. And that may be his only chance, given the fact that, as I understand, in the American system, for those boxers that don't qualify here, that there's going to be another box-off back in America between now and the continental qualifiers, where the American team may take the approach of, well, listen, if the guys we sent to Baku weren't good enough to compete or place at the world level enough to get the ticket, the license to go to London, then maybe we need to give other boxers in their weight classes a chance to fill that void. In which case, a box-off to determine what other amateurs in the American system may be better suited to go to London and therefore to go to the continental qualifier, which for the Americas will be in Brazil sometime in early 2012. Be that as it may, Lenroy Thompson hopes it doesn't come to that. He hopes he doesn't slip in the back door by losing to Zhuyev and Zhuyev then winning. No, Lenroy Thompson wants to win this on his own terms. He doesn't want anyone to win it for him. He wants to beat this man, and the only way to do that now is to stay active. He's got to throw more punches. He's got to be more aggressive. He's got to perhaps employ slightly better defense. He's taking too many shots that he need not take, and he certainly needs to avoid taking any more or getting any more warnings. The referee now is going to, as if the referee heard me, is going to issue another warning to Lenroy Thompson, or is that a standing 8? Excuse me, my apologies. He actually issued a standing 8, which isn't nearly as bad. Just the same, Thompson still needs to stay on course, and he needs to be more aggressive here. He was down by 2 going into this round. There's a nice charge by Thompson. He's got Zhuyev up against the ropes now, although Zhuyev has turned the tables right there. A wild right hand by Zhuyev. And the referee is going to again caution Thompson. Right and the left by Zhuyev. And now another standing 8 count for Thompson. So clearly these punches by Zhuyev are finding their mark, which means that they're more likely than not getting registered by the officials at ringside. Thompson's starting to get a little sloppy in there. He's probably quite tired. He's in there with some real world-class competition in Viktor Zhuyev. And down goes Thompson. It was a push. You heard it from the crowd. Up he is with 30 seconds to go. And again, this is going to start to get sloppy as both of these boxers perhaps getting a little tired and worse for wear. The referee cautioning Thompson to not basically lean on the ropes the way he was.
The world number 471 is Varga, 69-30.
Down goes Thompson again at the bell. He's going to have him get up, but it's more perfunctory than anything else. That's the end, and we're going to get these scores tallied up in just a moment. And there it is. The victory goes to the Belarus boxer by only a 3-point margin, 18-15. Viktor Zhuyev gets the victory. So Lenroy Thompson He was game. He had a spirited attitude, and he did the best he could. Unfortunately, the best wasn't good enough right here tonight against Viktor Zuyev, and this one is in the record books. So we are down to our final 4 super heavyweight bouts. There's about another hour left in the evening, and we shall get ready to call in the next boxers. They are Filip Hrgovic from Croatia and Mihai Nistor from Romania. Filip Hrgovic, only 19 years old. Mihai Nistor from Romania, 21 years old. Let's take a look at the officials that'll be assisting us. The referee first, Bahadur Jumanzayev. The officials actually are the judges, Gallagher, Caulfield, Puchidis, Sidi Yakub, and Pogi from around the world. And the resume of Filip Hrgovic reads like this: 2008 Croatian Junior National Champion, gold medalist, and in 9 Youth National Champion, silver medalist. 2010 Youth National Champ, gold medalist. 2010 AIBA Youth World Championships right here in Baku. He got first place with a win against Tony Yoka, who we saw earlier. He's also a member of the World Series of Boxing, as we've spoken of earlier. He got first place at the Croatian National Championships this year. He's 200 centimeters, and he looks ready to go. Mihai Nistor from Romania grabbed 7th place at the 2009 Romanian National Cup, 1st place at the 2010 Romanian National Championships, and 3rd place in the 2011 European Championships in Ankara, Turkey, earlier this year. With that said, the stage has been set. Filip Hrgovic, Croatia, red corner. Mihai Nistor, Romania, blue corner. Hrgovic, Nistor. Super heavyweights. Hrgovic lunging forward with a right hand. Nistor ripping some shots to the body. It's nice to see that. You look at Hrgovic, look at Nistor, and you can see his hands are up awfully high. It gives Hrgovic a lot of landscape to paint this picture all across the belly and the midsection of Nistor. Now Hrgovic boxing out of the corner. He turns Nistor around, and very aggressive is Nistor, lunging forward, hands up high, as we noted, contrasted with Hrgovic's style where the hands are lower and in front of him. Less likely that Nistor has the speed at this weight, most of the boxers at this weight class don't, to be able to surprise Hrgovic with a shot without Hrgovic seeing it, at least to the head. But you never know. Sometimes it's those punches that you don't see that often do the most damage. As a matter of fact, that's often the case that the ones you don't see do the most damage. Speaking from personal experience when I tell you that one. And now Hrgovic is going to get a caution from the referee. He's going to throw a right hand down the pike. A left hand, then another right. He's a wily one, is Nistor. He's giving up a decent height advantage and perhaps a little bit of extra pounds in the midsection for him, but just the same, he seems game, and he looks like he could pack a punch if he could figure out a way to land it on Hrgovic. Hrgovic back against the ropes, a minute left to go. Hrgovic quite tall, 200 centimeters to be precise. It's a mountain of a man right there that Nistor is going to need to climb to get to the top. Now the gum shield came out of Nistor's mouth. As Hrgovic gets sent to his neutral corner, Nistor is going to get that gum shield replaced. And action resumes. Chopping right hand by Nistor. Look at some action here from the first round, and Nistor, clearly the aggressor, throwing the heavy punches, but after just one round, it's all tied up at 3. You see the end swell being applied to Nistor. Reduce some of the swelling that he received already from the first round. Some heavy hands by Filip Hrgovic.
Second round.
And Nistor continues to push forward. Hrgovic's back sort of against the ropes. Now he starts to turn his man, and there's a lunging left by Nistor. So as the night wears on, the boxers continue to ply their trade, apply their craft. They have one goal in mind, as they should: London 2012. And here comes Nistor. Referee going to caution Nistor to keep his hands up. Hrgovic throws a nice right hand right down the pike. That loose guard, look how loose that guard is of Nistor. Even though his hands are up, they're too far apart from each other, basically and effectively rendering them useless to be up there, because Hrgovic's throwing straight rights and lefts right down the pike and scoring with clean, effective punching on the face and nose. Hrgovic sensed that really quick and started to tighten up that guard, but at that point, their positions had changed. Some good work here by Hrgovic. And now Nistor continuing to press the action. Remember, it was a 3-point tie going into the second round. Nistor, good job throwing a lunging right hand, but as he's turned around, Hrgovic does a good job of catching him with a right. And now Hrgovic doing a good job. Hrgovic looks pretty solid in there. I mean, he doesn't seem that aggressive, but he seems to have some good tools, and he knows how to use them well, which is most important. It's one thing for a craftsman to have a big toolbox. It's another for him to know how to use his tools. Hrgovic does a good job using those tools he has. He's tall. He uses his height well. He's strong. He punches well. He's light enough. He uses his feet well. So there you have it. He's smart. He's using his brain well. So Hrgovic covering up even when necessary, and Nistor looks like he's just having a tough time figuring out how best to deal with this guy. Let's see what the scorecard shows after 2. And the Croatian in the red corner is going to get an additional 2 right here. So he goes up 10-8. He's only 19 years old, Filip Hrgovic. So he's got a big, long career ahead of him, and he's already showing some good signs. 10-8, Filip Hrgovic, Croatia. And as we look at action in the 3rd round, Hrgovic having a 2-point lead going in here, and Nistor certainly not giving up. He has not stopped throwing punches. He has not stopped coming forward, and that is a credit, a real credit to Mihai Nistor. The referee now going to use his tissue in his pocket to pick up the mouth guard of the Romanian, Mihai Nistor, and his corner's going to rinse it. He's going to issue a point, it seems. Yes, he is. Perhaps he feels that was an intentional spitting out of the mouthpiece by Nistor, so not good for Nistor, who was already down 2 points, just handed over another 2 to Hrgovic, and there's only 2 minutes and 22 seconds left in this 3rd round. Now Nistor really sensing the urgency. He's going to start swinging for the fences. Just swinging for the fences, but nobody's home. Certainly not Filip Hrgovic. That's because Filip Hrgovic doesn't live there anymore. Filip Hrgovic lived there when Nistor threw the punch, but he didn't live there by the time it arrived. Call him a transient, but Filip Hrgovic has a good sense about moving about and not staying in the same place for too long. Shows him well in the boxing ring. Nice uppercut by Hrgovic. Nistor throwing a swinging right hook. And nice, a big right hand by Hrgovic scored, and Nistor is starting to break down. It seems like he realizes that the amount of points he would need to come back for or from at this stanza, at this period of time in the bout with only a minute left, and now with a bloody face, he gets another standing 8 count. He just realizes that it's going to be almost impossible to win on points. He's going to really need to come out with some amazing knockout that he hasn't really shown the capacity to deliver through 3 rounds so far. .40 seconds left. And Nistor just weighing in on Filip Hrgovic. Hrgovic throwing a nice right hand, once up the middle and then a chopping right. And Hrgovic's really showing some stamina. He's still throwing punches, and he's throwing them straight, and he's throwing them hard with accuracy in the waning minutes of the 3rd round. So Filip Hrgovic is going to be a force to be reckoned with, no doubt, throughout the course of this tournament and beyond. Again, he's only 19 years old, and he's a mountain of a man at 200 centimeters. And that's it, folks. The round is over, the bout is over, and we shall await the official decision in just a moment.
Red corner, Judges victorious, Ukraine. Blue corner, Watson Alexis, France.
In this sport, we are red corner.
And Hrgovic comes away with an impressive 22-10 victory. Filip Hrgovic from Croatia just bought himself a ticket to London. He's now got a ticket to ride, and we will see him there, but we will also see him tomorrow in the quarterfinals. So looking forward to that. Great action still to come. Stay tuned. We have 3 more heavyweight bouts left. Coming up next, Kazakhstan versus China.
Dychko, Kazakhstan, blue corner, Nagzibekov, China.
Eugen, first serve.
All right, Tony German, the referee for this bout. Trueba, Pizarro, Just, Tadic, and Puchadis are the judges. In the red corner, we've got Ivan Dychko of Kazakhstan and Zhang Zhilei of China. What a nice guy. Zhang Zhilei, had a chance to spend some time with him and talk things over at the Asian Championships earlier this year in Incheon. Just a really nice guy. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Let's take a look at the resume of Ivan Dychko. 2008, he took second place at the AIBA Youth World Championships in Guadalajara, Mexico in 2009. He was in the AIBA World Championships in Milan. 2010, he took second place at the Asian Games. 2011, first place at the Kazakh National Championships. And 5th place right here earlier this year at the Great Silkweight Tournament in Baku. Zhang Zhilei, also dearth of experience. 2003 AIBA World Championships in Bangkok. 2005, took 5th place in China. 2007, 3rd place at the championships in Chicago. 2008, Summer Olympian, 2nd place, lost to Roberto Cammarelle. And 2009 AIBA World Championships in Milan. 3rd place, lost to Roman Kapitanenko, who we saw earlier tonight. And in 2011, just earlier this year, we saw him take 3rd with a loss to Dajan Osmanov of Kazakhstan in the Asian Championships in Incheon. Well, now he's fighting another boxer from Kazakhstan, this time Ivan Dychko. Let's see if he has better success or if the Kazakhis have his number. Zhang Zhilei, a really impressive figure 2. Stands at stands at 200 centimeters, weighing in at 117 kilograms. So he's a big boy. 202 centimeters though for Dychko at 102 kilograms. So both of these guys, really big men. And you hear the Kazakhstani supporters in the crowd. They're really cheering on their man. However, don't be fooled. The Chinese contingency is out there in full force, certainly cheering on their man as well. There's a left hand by Zhang Zhilei. Zhilei boxing in the southpaw style. Dychko. And Zhilei tie up, lock up in the middle. There's 40 seconds left in round one. Zhang Zhilei throwing a right-handed hook off the break, falls short of its mark. Dychko with his hands up high. Sticking out that left. Throwing out his jab. Look at the toes. They're starting to tangle a little bit as Zhang Zhilei finds himself either stepping on or being stepped on. The Kazakhstani boxer. 10 seconds left. A lot of infighting here. Not too much punching, lots of clinching. That's going to be the end of the first round. Take a look at the action from the last round. You see why these super heavyweights are so exciting. They're big men and big punchers, and it doesn't take but one big punch by a big man to end a fight early. And now Dychko comes forward, dancing around Zhang, looking for an opportunity. This is the 2011 AIBA World Boxing Championships, live on AIBA's YouTube channel, as well as on various local and international networks from the Haydar Aliyev Sports Complex in Baku, Azerbaijan. This is the first qualifying event for the 2012 London Olympic Games. We are in the Sweet 16 round, as they say. We'll be moving into the quarterfinals tomorrow. And then thereafter, with a rest day for these boxers who have earned that rest after boxing for almost 2 weeks straight, they will indeed box for the semifinal honors on Friday, with the finals coming down on Saturday. The award ceremony will conclude that event, and all these boxers will get to go home with great memories and great pride intact. They've all worked very hard, and they're continuing to work hard, and the best is yet to come. I am Castle Chalice, working your commentary duties from inside the arena. It's a lovely arena, over 150 flags from around the world hanging high in the rafters, representing each of the great nations that have been participating in this tournament. Only 3 will get raised for each weight class, make that 4. The bronze medalists will often get 2, 1 for each, although one will indeed have lost to the gold medalist, while the other will have lost to the silver medalist. Technically, putting a slight ranking in there for the 3rd place. Let's call it 3rd A and 3rd B. The Kazakhstani boxer Dychko and Zhang Zhilei continue to try and demystify one another, and to, at the same time, confuse one another, making for a very interesting viewing experience. Ten seconds left now. Dychko and Zhang. And round 2 is in the books. We're going to get a score in just a brief second, and there it is, 8-5 for the Kazakhstani boxer, and you hear it from the Kazakhstanis in the crowd. They're in full force in attendance here. Look at some action from the last round, and you see how Dychko came away with a few points here. He was just simply the more accurate boxer. He landed the cleaner punches, and as a result, he's up 3 points over Zhang Zhilei of China. So Zhang Zhilei has his work cut out from here. He's down by 3. He's going into the 3rd and final round. He wants to go back to the Olympics. As we said, he was there in 2008 in Beijing, in his own country. What an honor that must have been. Now he gets a chance to go to London and do it again, but he's going to have to get through this monster of a man, Ivan Dychko from Kazakhstan first. He's down 3. It's far from an insurmountable task. You know, 1 punch and a warning, and he's all tied up, so we've seen that happen all night long. Of course, we'd rather see those punches come from 3 clean punches, but whatever it takes here to tie it and ultimately to get past this man.